My family, una good evening. I hope say any side na the world usai una fen una self. I hope say una dey do well. To we Muslim brothers and sisters them again I say Ramadan Karem to una. Make God yeri una prayer them and make God answer una prayer them. Today again, we don't can sit down Nayaso for can talk about no other business but salon business. Listen, people, we are at the eve of 60 years of independence. So today I get representations them or members or or associates of the three major political parties them now we nation SLPP that is the ruling party, the APC that is in opposition, and the NGC that is as well in opposition. And today we sit down here for can talk about no other business, but as soon as see as we title the show today, Abass Bundu'S Parliament, duty to whom? The red versus green gangs. Yes, we are going to talk about the red versus green gangs. This is a new word we boss now though. Me not be no for say political party now don't been coined as gangs. But hey, whatever, we go with the punches, we make light of things, but at the end of it all, we have to remain true to ourselves. We have to remain loyal to only one thing and one thing only, and that is Mama Salone. That is the green, white, and blue. Today we get Mr. Mohammed G. Ali Nayaso, when are the chairman Chicago chapter SLPP North America. And we get Mr. Imran Toure, when are a staunch APC man. And then we get obviously Mr. Arun Zubairu, who all know not a tire always they pull video. I think say here Mr. Ali I get for make competition who that they pull video passing copy because I think say every day they have something, some issue that they are addressing or something that is out there. But even before we sit down inside the show proper, make I give me panelists them term for tell Fambule Adu this evening term. Mr. Imran Toure, they join me all the way from England. It's a little over 1:30 a.m. your time, and this is when I always say, if not love for country, what else? Tell Fambule Adu.
My family, I want to tell plenty kushe, and the one them way now we border them way they fast. I want to say happy fast month saying.
Indeed, happy fast month, Sona. Now I go over to Mr. Arun Zubairu. Mr. Arun Zubairu, tell Fambule Adu.
Family Onadu, Mr. Arun Zubairu, and thank Mr. Ali and Mr. Toure for joining me in this very pertinent conversation today. Welcome.
Okay, and we go now to Mr. Ali. Mr. Ali, tell Fambule Adu.
Fellow Australians, Emmanuel Ali. Thank you. As usual, we can be part of VOS, the voice, and when are the people in voice. And thanks to me other guests, them, Mr. Haroon and Mr. Toure, and thank you to both the proprietors and the host of VOS. Thanks for having me.
Hello.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so without wasting much time, on I know say we don't sit down inside the 60 year, we then at the eve of the 60 year, in another couple of days, we can officially say Sierra Leone has has turned 60. Basically 60 years of freedom, 60 years of independence, 60 years of self-rule, right? 60 years of, self-actualization, self-realization, 60 year where we don't take thing away on hand and say we go do am the way where we want for do am and the way where we feel say go work for we own people then. And because this year, a few weeks back, starting few weeks back, I think this now my fourth show now on the 60-year series, and the 60-year series go last throughout the year. The first question I can ask even before we sit down pan the talk proper one na this question. I go to Mr. Toure. Mr. Toure, tell me about Sierra Leone, the Sierra Leone you remember, the Sierra Leone you grew up in, the what you love and miss about that Sierra Leone.
Well, Sierra Leone, a country we not ever be meritocratic, but in many ways it was happy. We get very good school days. Those were the days where we dey go school, we dey look forward to Kondo. Everybody, whether rich or poor, we dey get with non-fat milk, we dey get with bulgur, with cornmeal, we dey get all in lily jati jati then day, and when you come back home, you not even worry if mama cook. So school was like home, and you friends them, and most of them friends them the way I went to school with because of that kind environment. The ambience was so good, you know. When I come out school, they come, when I thirsty, when I just go on a street pump, when I drink, free for everybody. It was a fun time. Even though it was not perfect, because Sierra Leone not ever be perfect. Since the Portuguese then come, since Britain and take over, it has never been perfect. Now one alahala after the other. But we hope say there is going to be light at the tunnel.
We hope say there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, make I go to Mr. Zubairu. Mr. Zubairu, tell me about the Sierra Leone that you love, the Sierra Leone that you grew up in, the Sierra Leone that you miss.
Yes, I remember. So I grew up in during the 80s. I remember distinctly where the atmosphere was so conducive. We don't know about tribalism. We don't know about division. I remember why they go to school again, like Mr. Iman. You did eat you lunch. The teacher was good. There was some civility. You hardly see any person in company, mommy. The country where I remember, now that country we do it inter-secondary school sport. We give for big college food sport. We on Christmas Day we celebrate per day or the month of Ramadan. You see people celebrate. There was no division, even though there been just one party state. It was really peaceful. We all the wait for Pashaki, forget the budget, and we able to know all the leader them like Sheikh Matilla, Esai Kouma, and Salah Sharif. It was all covered. So you talk about Timli, Mende, Limbada, all the parts of the government. So that government was really a government where you said something like, even though Pashaki was not perfect, but it was a respectful country. We respect the rule of law. So that is Salone and we may remember.
Okay, thank you very much. And now, Mr. Ali, tell me about that salon where you grew up in, that salon where you love, and waiting you miss but that salon there.
Well, me grew up in the 80s. Again, I think my generation, for the most part, we history and we reality was one of constant trying to figure out life. That's my experience. It was under Stevens. It was under Momo. I think any Sierra Leonean way recalling history accurately knows those were the times when young boys had to urgently become men in order to survive. No, from 1967 to the war years, I'm not sure there's a good story to tell. It was the worst of times. And I think we can look forward now to the best of times. I think Sierra Leoneans, we can make that argument. It was the worst of times then, and we can look forward to the best of times going forward.
The worst of times then, we can look forward now to the best of times going forward. Without much ado, make I even just go straight into history and ask with technical team make an excerpt of an interview with the late former president Joseph Saidu Momo, where he talk about some salience in them, some mistake them, he acknowledge and whatnot. Make we take them from there, and even as we go back into history to look at where we are at currently.
Some more now
Two commodities. The first reason may be that we as a people and as a government are to blame because definitely there are areas where we have terrible weaknesses in being able effectively to manage these commodities. And the result naturally has been that quite a substantial percentage of our gold and diamonds are taken out of the country through smuggling. Here again, one might say, well, why not stop it? But to stop smuggling of diamond and gold is not an easy business at all. You know, gold and diamonds are minerals that are easy to smuggle by virtue of the fact that internationally they are very, very attractive and they cost quite a lot of money. And what is more, they're usually very small and easy to take away. A second reason may well be that as a government and as a people, we still lack the expertise to manage these commodities wholly and solely on our own. In that case, we have relied on management from foreigners, non-Sierra Leoneans. The industry is largely dominated by Lebanese, and the damage they cause to the diamond industry is incalculable. And a third reason, which to me is the most important, is that when it comes to pricing of these items, we don't have to say at all. The prices are usually determined by the big boys outside this country.
It's also those big boys who determine how much international aid Sierra Leone gets. At the moment, most of the country's aid comes from West Germany and China. But Momo knows that for his country to survive in the present economic climate, he needs all the help he can get. Because of this, 26 years after independence, he's anxious to rekindle the close relationship that once existed between Britain and Sierra Leone.
The relationship between Great Britain and Sierra Leone is still very, very cordial. We have quite a bit of British-funded assistance within the country. I think of the Work Oxen program in the field of agriculture. I think this is the program which teaches us that to jump from the crude type of agriculture that we are used to tractorization is too big a leap. So in between, we must learn to use our oxen. The oxen are by far cheaper to maintain, not like tractors. So we have found that program very, very meaningful. And I think it is very, very well, especially in the northern part of the country. Britain is also helping with in the field of education substantially, because we have this voluntary service overseas program, which gives us a lot of teachers that have come out. It's a program that has been in existence for many, many years.
Holiday West students flights.
Before the VSO program came to Sierra Leone, Britain, through the Anglican Church, had made her mark in the field of higher education by establishing Fora Bay College, the first university in the whole of West Africa. Fora Bay College was founded by the Church Missionary Society with the intention of producing Anglican clergymen. It opened with just 8 students, the first of whom was Ajay Crowther, who went on to become Bishop of West Africa. Students then were taught church history, philosophy and linguistics, and the college came to be regarded as the academic jewel in West Africa.
Well, it was the only institution of higher learning with pretension to university training and so on for decades. Because in 1876, the Church Missionary Society decided to affiliate Furube College to a British university. And Durham found favor.
Okay, Thank you very much to the technical team. The background commentary, I apologize to all the viewers as well as, in fact, my guests, my panelists, for the background commentary. We were not able to find a clean version of this, taped recording. So we were left with no other choice but to run the recording with the background commentary. But aside from the background commentary, which was quite a bit of a distraction, I hope say we able get to the thrust of waiting them in the show. So my first question will go to Mr. Toure. Mr. Toure, do you think Sierra Leone then did not have the capacity, just like the late president say, for manage we own resources, and so therefore others were managing our resources, and is it the case presently?
Well, I'm glad the way you asked the question. That could just connect me to within Mr. Ali say from 1967, which was very disingenuous. That's not true. Because the history of Sierra Leone is very complicated, it's very, very, very critical. In the sense that, Sierra Leone, it might start from the time where Britain take over the country. Britain rule we for 150 years. That 150 years, they rule we say we don't ready for be an independent country. And the very first people that we feel we are the very first people that will be there before, Samilton Magai, the SLPP party. They make a very bad deal for Sierra Leone when they come to Lancaster House. Can you imagine where would they do Brexit now in London? It take over 2 years. Ministers then lost position, Prime Minister then lost position. Why? Because Britain be the fed for the interest first, nothing less, nothing less. Then fed, irregardless where the other European country then are the French then are the border, they not care about that. Then just focus say England get forget a good deal. When they go on that in the, you cannot believe waiting the SLPP government be concerned about. Now the date when they forget the independence, that was 7th of December 1960. Instead of go negotiate properly and get the best deal for we. After 150 years, we leader then Sam Hilton plus the delegation we go where people like Mrs. Cummings, John Bigo, one George Stone Bigo, so on and so forth. Then give them 7.5 million. 7.5 million after 150 years with all the diamond, all the gold them, and then be open cast mining. When they take and the 7.5 million when they give Sierra Leone. Now 3 things then the name say the money for go into. If I go into na loan, na grant, then for technical support. Can you imagine small money like that? Then gladly then can see we don't get independence. When they come independence, after independence, now they Albert Magai and the big brother begin the fight for power struggle. To an extent where Albert Magai left go make PNP. This rowdiness and confusion, not what today SLPP begin a move. The fight between the two brothers then the small brother make a leadership challenge where Albert Magai beat a big brother Samilton. Now northern people in prevail panel for tell and say, Bo, can they bury them? This now you big brother. Left and make a rule this place. Now that time he back down, he go form another party they call PNP. We call Pikin. Well, that story there, Mr. Ali, they know they talk about him. Then Sheki, when they go for that deal, now Sheki are the only man we talk for say, when they rush this thing here, let we not do independence before elections. Let we do elections before independence. So we'll come back to the Salone people, them, just like what in Ghana do, and can ask them, say, then deal there, is it right? Now they accuse Sheikh Stevens, say, they collaborate with foreign country them. Then lock and a jail, in order to see light. Because that time the Albert Magai and Sam Milton, then be the favor the Englishman and they work for the Englishman rather than the interest of Sierra Leone. So we got a bad deal. Then the start was not good because Albert Magai be the 30 brother frantically for power struggle, Then where a brother can die 4 years later, a brother can die. he take power. The very night we take power, now he sack Kerry Smart. Now from there, now the power struggle begin. Then Kanka make elections. During that period, Albert Magai try for consolidate power to himself, reduce the chiefs' power. Then it creates a lot of unrest in the country. Then what can happen now? He begin a campaign for one party. Now that 10 day now, Sheki campaign against that with the help of people like Nancy Steele them and the other party them. We can join with them. That the Creole party them can join. FET Sheki win that election day. That next day when they swear in, like boasting, they swear Pasheki in. Now in Brigadier Lance and our SLPP man, when a best party of Albert Magai, go seize power, arrest Sheki and like boasting. That in before school, now SLPP do. A lot of people don't know that. So that make Mr. Lino can give any lectures about bad political practices in Sierra Leone. Most of the things that will happen, will start. The one party introduction of Sierra Leone, now SLPP bring a can. Now I don't bring all the bad practices in that country day. So 30 days we're not able to recover. And when Shaki take power, we na monitor to an extent that for let's secure power, again for go bring Guinness or Jamanden, for can't keep them in power because the South not be want them at all. So from the word go, it was very, very rough for the country. And from the beginning, they know they consult the Salone people them. Albert Stability not consult the Salone people them. And after then, if you don't set that precedence day, Albert Magano they consult, Shekino they consult, right through they know they consult. That I will say that without hesitation. But make Mr. Ali no can try for take the moral high ground. Because now from Una, this whole problem starts.
Okay, make I go to Mr. Ali. So, Mr. Ali, a lot of accusation don't be levied on the SLPP party, and and say that the SLPP party, na the leader or the ringleader of Usai waiting with the experience na Salone, depending on your view on your or Usai they watch am from. Some man go say in bowl full. Some man go say in bowl half full. Some man go say in bowl empty, pata pata. So I want to understand from waiting Mr. Toure don't say, who say you there? Is it true that SLPP or the forefathers of SLPP then set up a system where don't lead to draw, we don't lead to so much in internal competition that is spread out to the rest of the country in such a way that we're not able to recoup and come back as one people?
Well, the interesting part of history is that people get the right for the revisionist. So then we'll come back, especially, APC at this point of Sierra Leone history. Now, like I said again, I quoted Charles Dickens, the famous British author, who gave us A Tale of Two Cities. And we can tell a tale of two countries. We can tell a tale of two political parties. And I think anybody coming of age in Sierra Leone at any given point understand the true history. Mr. Toure gave us a revisionist history. It is a very desperate attempt for rewrite history. And I must say to my friend that he did a very horrible job. Because, again, at the very beginning of the negotiation for independence, the 1957 Constitution, which, by the way, consolidated both the protectorate and the colony and create one country. Every historian have given credit to Sir Milton and others that were involved in negotiating the path to independence. We don't need that you cannot renegotiate that history. The foundation is, again, I don't know if you understand his point about 7 million given for what? I don't think history genuinely in the construct of seeking independence, I don't know what 7 million get for do with anything. But that aside, it's important that young people understand the full history of the country that nobody, an APC person, not go able for change. Sam Milton enroll, Ella Kobler enroll, Lamina Sanko enroll, and Stevens enroll have been etched in the annals of history to the point where the best academics in APC cannot erase that. Stevens was seeking self-interest, failed to sign the Declaration of Independence, insisted there be elections before independence, while the others who were patriots would look out for the independence of the country so that Sierra Leone go able to govern itself. I mean, that's the history, right? Again, there are a lot of other issues that you brought in with the coup, the elections of 67. I know actually one going to the coup with the very first coup in Sierra Leone, because if kids need to understand history, the reason why Bangura, not Bangura, Brigadier Lansana, sorry, the reason why Brigadier Lansana stated that he staged that coup was because he argued that the paramount chieftaincy, you remember there were only 2 seats that separated the winner from the loser in that 1967 election. I didn't think I was going to come here to give a history class, but since we talk about independence, I think it's necessary. Yeah, so there were 2 seats were separated to the Brigadier Lansana argued that we should have had the paramount chief elections, which, if they had done that, it would have been a different result. And it is on that basis he argued that there was a constitutional violation of the Constitution. Now, the argument that on which he even staged the coup. And one final point, I'm not going to prolong this conversation. Even Stevens not be get in mind for kill Brigadier Lansana. Years after Brigadier Lansana had committed that coup, he was in prison for the longest because he knew that there was hardly any basis for him to have been executed. Now, later on, he began for execute him. But the point is, I think, and I give credit to Mr. Toure because that's what you're supposed to do, defend your party, even though history have literally just stamped Sierra Leone as the country where APC destroyed, the country where Stevens destroyed, the country where Momo destroyed, the country where Kuruma destroyed. That is history. And the country where SLPP built from independence to reconstruction of Kaba to what we have today, which is the progressive movement. That is the history that kids are going to learn, not just from me, but from the facts as they are. So let me pause there and allow my other guests to chime in.
Okay, so Mr. Zubairu, I go come to you. We always knew from our history, even reading back from, everything we don't transpire, that the Lebanese played a key role in the extraction of our diamond and sales of the diamond them. So I want to ask you, you think, say, the Lebanese community or the Lebanese businessman then still gets a grip in with natural resources like them do during the 70s and the 80s and even the 90s? You feel say they still get that grip there even as we speak now?
For answer your question quickly, I think to an extent they still get the power because they still get the license them for actually export with natural resources them, which was built by Shaka Stevens. I will go a little bit again to history because I think saying I think Mr. Imran start this. I mean, I'm not enough to set the conversation to that point. But when we think about this, Mr. Imran, they tell we say now SFPP them now them cause this, they're not bargaining for 7 million or something to that effect. Nothing get nothing to do with the country. We'll be then a good footing for actually develop the country because the country was already structured. We got the lost them, people know what the lost are, people them they abide to the lost them, people them they go and leave their full potential at that time. But the problem will be get not to Hamilton, but Albert. Albert's not a freak. We believe in the Mende people and the South and the East. And I did the problem come out. Where with that tribalism, Mr. Emmanuel, we don't talk about that in other show. That tribalism where Albert Magai come, where he come and purge the people from the North. He removed them, the people over there as member of parliament, we come up from the winner team in the tribe. The military and the police, they expunged them all. So Pashaki genuinely win the election. But what did Pashaki do? We make today, we didn't at this demise. Now, after it take the playbook for Albert Magai, and then it bring all the people in the country to a one-party state. Pashaki now one of the person will kill a lot of people. Pashaki now the person this way, he lets plenty money in our country. Pashaki now the person where he refuse for actually make the country better in every point. I remember distinctly in the 80s, the early 80s, $1 million to $1. By 1984, it was 40 million to $1. This is Bobby Stevens. It go back to OAU, where Shaka Stevens is spent so much money, and that creates with demise. But you can't tell Mama, where Pashaki elect the power, but Mama can become a tribalist. Joseph Saido Mama, with the equity, with all the tribal people where he puts and put all the people from the South. That's where the division come out. It is so apparent for that everyone listen to Jess Momo, and that everyone say, wow, it was so nice and look calm. But it was not a leader. Now we come to the mining. Today when we talk, Excel mining, Mr. Marabio don't make the chemical cut with a loss over $500 million because of Mr. Marabio in inept and in confusion and not able to get gas of all the information I had. When it comes and I JS Mama, they talk about agriculture. With the exports, some of this the worst substandard produce than today. Just last year, under Marabio administration, now $4 million that we able to get out of the produce them, where will they sell? And Marabio in a manifesto say they will make agriculture one of invest program. Now the points the way we did today, the Lebanese on the French demo, now they get all the license them. And now when they see to an extent, they don't take it from the Lebanese them. Now, then they get to the full amount them. This is exactly how they play this game. And it will continue until we stop them. I will stop the answer for now. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Mr. Ture, so you say, this regionalism, politicization, tribalism, na the SLPP them introduce within the political structure, but Mr. Imram say, SLPP, they've been the builders that when the APC come, then they create a mess, and then SLPP are the fixers, that they have been fixing the messes that, the APC, then don't they create. Waiting you get for say to that, and then secondly, to what extent do you blame the Stevens regime for his heavy-handedness and dictatorship on the country, maybe contributed to where we are today?
Well, to start with, in most of the Odudian way they do, it is clear to everybody say, I can always the talk for say Sierra Leone in demise, we get for take collective responsibility. All the politicians, they make mistakes. Samilti made, Albert made, Sheki made, all of them. And we, the citizenry, Mr. Ali, me, Mr. Zubaru, me papa, Mr. Ali papa, they all take part, whether actively or passively. Because things that may happen, we always can choose not for protest. Because even to these dates, with the people in the talk for say, people enough for go protest. Now lawlessness, not to lawlessness. It didn't have a constitution say we get right for protest, freedom of association, freedom of movement, and freedom of speech. a day is enshrined in our constitution. Waiting me they try for talk but now just because Mr. Ali they try make like for say then na a righteous party. They're not righteous in any form. Where you Albert Magai go take power na a country, then he try for introduce affirmative action where be just they in favor of the many people them. Sack all man at the place. We get a country where get about 16 tribes. Then you get the bold man. You only choose you young tribes say you dey give them affirmative action in their favor and remove other people them. Who that give you that right there? And you suppose for day for protect the people them and make life easy for them, improve their lifestyle and then quality of life. When would they talk about the issues there? The difference between me and Mr. Ali sometimes he can act like for say get jiggy. Madabiyo they do wrong. Madabiyo is perfect. Madabiyo take power from where he take power. He say in the carry go, they giving you direction. Then all of a sudden we wake one morning we realize see the motokano get steering wheel. They go in any direction. Rather, they go in the same direction 3 times the speed. The velocity is so high that we're afraid now say there's going to be a crash. And people like Mr. Ali, they come out, they talk for say, Madabiyo, they do a good job. But me, they put onto everybody say, from the inception of independence, things were not good. Probably Albert Samilton would have done better if Albert Magai be get off a case. Because Albert Magai be constantly then in neck for his power and a brother in hand. It is not secret. But when Mindeman talk about the history of Sierra Leone, then they hide that bit. They say Albert Magai be left SLPP, he go from PMP party. Just because they prevail on them, people that they can't they tell them for say, "Bobby man, no, fetch you brother. Let this man let focus on his job." Samilton do some good jobs because the man very clever. He do history degree, don't know? They go do medicine. Can you imagine? But when he became pan leadership, he was not good. But one thing where he do, he bring the country together. He bring all the paramount chiefs together. He give them more power. Where Albert Magai come, he strip them of them powers. Where Mr. Ali they talk for say, what he need they talk. Not so true. Because Albert Magai now the chiefs themselves not be even one time in power. Because if they try for consolidate all the power of the country to himself. So thereby alienates the chiefs them. The chiefs them were not going to bail him out. Then beg Mr. Brewer, and those were the times. And that's how they pray to God for, and they pray for you, Mr. Ali, for let you begin to see wrong things that they go on. You call them by the name. Ellen Brewer, at that time, now the SLPP man will go independent. He win as an independent. Now, in a the person wait for me do the deal for SLPP. Albert Magai talk to him. He not agree. He said, I stood as an independent, I will stay as independent. Now that kind integrity, they now don't lost now we country. And that make now I can turn around and say we problem now we country, not to the illiterate class, not the educated class. Now they want them where they cause all the problem. Now they the foolish one them, and then the one they want to use their IQ. Because me don't know why where Sierra Leone and go school, when you get big degree, they're not able for reason out of the box. And now them problem they don't they happen. Where they even see something wrong, they're not even accept them. Me go talk them with all clarity and without hesitation, say the leaders they all make mistake. Every one of them. Every party has to be collective in taking responsibility. Then they go help for let we all consolidate together. We do a consensus. Try for begin to talk about how we go change the mistake there. Because Sierra Leone not designed for one person, it's not designed for one tribe, it's not designed for one region. Even we regions them as they Northern province, big part, Southern province, and Eastern province put together. A lot of people don't know that. Maybe Mr. Ali don't know that. Just Kwenadugu, na 12.21 kilometers square compared to Kenema province, when 15.5. That's how big just one district na the Northern province. Just one big province. But why is it that Kwenadugu get that size there, but then get 11 chiefdoms. But Kenema gets 16 chiefdom there. Then right now, this census, the reason we make the one for Duam, because the one for go create 2 more districts them, where we not get so much unfairness already. Moyamba district so big that he encroach pan the north. Roti Funk na north and
Okay,
town.
we go
But
come
he
to
dey
the
inside Moyamba.
census. We go come to the census as
You
we
know?
dey go along. Mr. Zub, we
Yes,
go come to the
yes.
census as
If I
we dey
can
go
just
along.
land, I just want to give Mr. Ali some truths them. So let we
Okay,
as
1 minute,
people,
please.
we young generation now, Mr. Zubaru, Mr. Imran, Misef, Nayas at the talk so, let we forget about being too partisan. Let we put the country at the center. And if we put the country, you would put the country at the center, we'll not go care, we'll go be pragmatic, we'll not go care about the color of the post. All what you go concerned about if they push the K charata. So far be concerned, they push the what we don't get, then none of the K charata. So Mr. Alila will talk about push where the K charata. Now no can begin to talk, say SLPP na a righteous party. They've never been righteous.
Okay, and I go ask Mr. Toure for adjusting camera so that the viewers then go see in face where they talk, but not the rest of your body. That will be very important. So make we
Thank you,
technical
Dad.
team work on that. So Mr. Zubairu, one person say, and I'm taking you as the middleman here. So, according to you, who that starts the dictatorship na Salone? Well, they did start from Albert Magai in the SLPP, or they did start from Stevens? People are of the view that it started from Stevens, others are of the view that it started from Magai. And not to today, we don't really talk. So, there is a divide. According to you, are both people responsible, or is the greater burden is the bearer of a greater burden by one?
Thank you very much. So, Mr. Imran come in at this particular show directly for counter every word where Mr. Imran will come. I ask him kindly for just focus on the question, and then we again thought them together. I hear they talk about affirmative action. I don't know if you know it's an affirmative action. For let it say affirmative action, it's not the right word. So I don't know who side that come out. Then a ramble about Polaba in 1990. It's not making sense. Who that? Now the person will begin the dictatorship. Now Siaka Robin Stevens. Shekina the man will come and begin and take power. Now the entire country and a democratic country. Robin Stevens take him by himself and he take him. He kill Vancouver them. Anybody who can't away, he they kill him. So he will take power. So when we they talk, now we talk through Nayaso. Sheki, now bring we country. So Usa we did today. Shaki, it make the tip too much money in the country. It give people too much power, and anybody who educated, it bring a kind of in a cabinet. Now make the country the way how it is so today. But who that make a worst? Now that's the question. And we're going to challenge ourselves today and show who that's one of the worst presidents of the country. But yes, we'll go back to your question. Yes, Shaka Stevens, a dictator. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay, so according to the NGC person, I also in see and say na Shaka Stevens na in bring the the one party system in play. Last week, my last guest, him in day of a different opinion. So this is a recurring question that I'll be asking until I kind of find like a median in between for Kai. Me self no. So now no can ask me. So Matilda, how do you feel? No. That is not the case. But make we even dive deeper. Is this divide the reason why we are seeing what we are seeing today? Is the dictatorship or the loyalty to party or the loyalty to tribe instead of loyalty to states and people? Now don't bring we to this this crescendo where we did so, this point where we did so, this junction where we did so. I want to make the technical team play just an excerpt of what happened at Parliament. Because you see, then 3 people and we sit on here, so they all get people inside Parliament, including some more. Is it that arrogance or that sense of, power, or that sense of, dictatorship, or that sense of not listening? Now, I don't bring we to this brink of where we do not respect laws, we do not respect rules, we think we can just do whatever we want to do. Let's go into the Parliament of Bundu for a second.
This is how Salone under the Honorable Speaker. This is how Parliament has been turned into. This is how the Honorable Speaker Abass has done Parliament. This is what Honorable Abass has done to Parliament. This is how Honorable Abass has done to Parliament. This is what Honorable Abass has done to Parliament. This is what Honorable Abass was a criminal.
Okay. Some man go say, some people they fight for their rights and they fight for them people their rights. But at the end of the day, make us say, these are the parliamentarians you voted for. Now the people in this way una vote for go represent una. Now the people in this way una vote for go seek una interest. And instead of I go say seeking una interest, this is what happened at a sitting. Could there have been another way of resolving this? Were they pushed to the wall and they could not breathe anymore, and therefore they resorted to such display of violence and destruction of properties? I don't know. But at the end of the day, the question where we go ask is that, did the formation of the state, the way the state was formed, and waiting we they see right now, did it play a part in what is imagined right now? Before I go to some other interview them, I want to make Mr. Ali answer this question. When you see those kind of images, when you see that kind of display in your regime, what comes to mind?
Okay, thank you, Miss Matilda. Again, I thank Mr. Haroon for, at the minimum, coming to my rescue, because it seems as though Mr. Toure, I guess, came to, address Mr. Ali or Emmanuel. The entire presentation is about Emmanuel, and I expect the host to fulfill her responsibilities of giving me equal time to respond, number one. Number two, perhaps caution Mr. Toure to sort of focus on the issue and less on the personality. I am here to defend the point of view, and that's what I'm doing. The degree to which Mr. Toure focuses his comments at me, not that it bothers me, but I don't think it bodes well for the presentation. And at the end of the show, go take a look at the time that you are giving Mr. Toure and switching over to videos and not allowing me to do a rebuttal. I think it's only fair that I bring that to your attention. But having said that,
let me hold you there. Just to be fair to the show, let me hold you there. I think I have been very generous with my time. I have not intercepted anyone in their response. I give them time to respond, and I know this is your rebuttal time. I've asked you a question, and in your question, in answering that question, you can also choose to rebut certain statements that were made. At the end of the day, I have sort of allotted a time that you all should spend responding to your individual questions when addressing stuff. However, I think I have been very gracious to let people speak and not interrupt them and have them trash out their thoughts fully. So on that note, I don't think it was right to say I have not been fair on my time.
Well,
You
I'll
can
let the
go
viewer
ahead.
decide that. I think Mr. Toure have actually not abided by the guidelines that you laid out in terms of the 2 or 3 minutes or whatever. But that's fine. I'm a big boy. I can handle it. I was just, at the minimum, asking you as a host to be fair. But on the issue of parliament, again, I think I have made a few proclamations and given my point of view about parliament, about brawls in parliament. It is not new. It has happened tons and tons of times in historic times, in contemporary times. And I don't think that's the issue. If we ask young people to, and again, our responsibility as adults, now for ask young people in Sierra Leone, for put the event in perspective and try to appreciate the event and make their own judgment. Let me ask what led to that event and who were the players. Number one, I think young people will understand that the argument was very clear. The minority leaders say the president not get right for call parliament if in all give 21 days notice. Abass Bundu, the Speaker of Parliament, the Constitution, and even, I suppose, average people in Sierra Leone who have bothered to read the Constitution, Section 86, I think understand very clearly the power that the president has. We're not going to debate that. It's really written in black and white. Everybody can read it. I think the country knows Cherno Maju Ba was just out of control. And what is happening here is APC realizes, and I say this again, because we're not going to debate the facts. The facts are the president was within his constitutional rights to call parliament, and Cherno Maju Ba in argument that they should have invoked SO5, I think have been laid to rest. Pass number, if APC people they want, again, bring revisionist argument and argue something we're not true, an argument to which I honestly would not be a part, because it is so obvious that the Speaker of the House was right, the President was right, Cherno Maju, who displayed such despicable act of unpatriotism to the country, actually exposed the desperate nature of APC in a time when the Sierra Leone People's Party and President Bio are leading the most progressive era in our country. And I can lay it out, but let me pause there so I'm respectful of others to respond. I think that is what young people should take from that. We can't debate too much the facts. The facts are clear. The culprits of that day was Cherno Maju Ba. History will record him as the one who brought disrepute and disgrace to our republic. And that's what it is. I'll just rest my case right there.
The
Yes,
despicable
Mr.
person,
Dubayo, go ahead.
the despicable person, that Abass Bundu, sir. Abass Bundu, when a political prostitute, we don't go now every party for your interest. Now they disrupt the entire parliament today. The despicable person, now Paran Charawali, which they're not able to understand how to govern, how to maintain the parliament. The despicable person, now when they insert Mr. Abass Bundu illegally as Speaker of the House, the president, this man allowed the SCC director, we're not supposed to be the SCC director. Now that's despicable, not the Constitution, sir.
Okay, I want before I come to you, Mr. Toure, I want for make we listen to waiting the opposition leader and leader of the NGC, Dr. Kande Kole Yunkela, waiting him been get for say about waiting happen na parliament on that set day. I go ask the technical team for play.
Same thing with this. I know the leader go after 1 year. He say I want the census. Then the process. Now the opposition remind government say you know they do census without parliament. Remember the census was announced in July, not so. How many months this? Not almost 10. Why it happened? Because the opposition raised alarm and said, hey, una don't violate procedure. If you don't violate procedure 10 months, the best you can do is to consult. But the speaker they at fault also. If the leader of the opposition don't raise procedural matter, not try for Bundu'S because you know the context. Call the leadership out, stand parliament down, and that's what we used to do to resolve issues. But if you get that attitude, say everything for Bundu'S, people for just comply, it is wrong. It is not for today. Every bad precedent will be used in the future by a bad leader. This was wrong. Second, even with all this coming, how can you deny the opposition the right to speak? How can you do that? Honestly, I'm not so. How can you deny the leader of the opposition? Mr. Be the wait for take the floor. How can you do that? Is this a democracy? This is why we say the democracy is a threat. Really now. You're forcing through a census. This same census, where the previous one, some of you will be raised concerned energy. They give you full assurance, the consultant, the way all country 2015, say it was legit. This is how it was done. When you begin to force things through parliament, and not to one, it accumulates the cause tension unnecessarily. Other issues they do on floor where all man knows say yes, the opposition concerned. Reform of the local government. We don't show the floor. The lack of proper consultation. Cybercrime day. This for concern now. That was smuggled in today. If not to have been this disruption, it would have been late today and gone. Yeah? These are things smuggled in, not correct. People they tell you they already feedback. Oh, now we in governance. But hey, somebody will be in governance in 20 years. That's why procedures must be followed properly. Debate must be had. To force things through down the throats of MPs is not correct. We are not for violence. We would never support violence. We also believe procedures must be followed. I think it was incumbent on the Speaker to listen to the opposition on this matter because we've been complaining for a long time. That's the least he could have done. That's the least. He could have stood down Parliament to say, okay, let's go on it. We've done it before, several times, with tension. I think the whole process was wrong. What happened today? Force will not solve our problems. It will just lay bad precedents, and I assure you, the young people, somebody will use these bad procedures one day against you. So that's what I would say. The technical issues have been explained already by the leader of the opposition.
Before he comes in, I just wanted to add something. Thank you, Doctor. One thing also that is very clear in the Statistics Act, that council, there are two key people who are members of that council. One of them happens to be your president, the president of SLAG. He is a member, so you must ask him questions. What procedures have they followed? Why are they at this point? Whether he has been consulted. Because he's there representing you. He should be coming back to SLAG to explain. The UNDP is also a member. So the UNDP, some of us will be engaging them. We want to know what their take is. What role did they play? Were they part of the council that met? Were they part of the decisions? This is something I wanted to bring to the
Very undemocratic, because in a democratic society, I believe in dialogue and negotiations are one thing and the way democracy teaches. If we get a differences, we talk to ourselves so that we will be able to understand ourselves and then we move on. This issue about the laying of paper, first of all, there was a proclamation where give power to census, to statistics for let them start the process of cartographic mapping. And now they bring another proclamation now because the leader of the opposition will not raise and say the process is done. Now then they lay out today. Several questions they were supposed to ask, but because of this disruption, we were before ask the questions they made. Because if that's not the case, then they just delay the paper now. Then what happened to the fundings where they may not be spent before? We go declare them fundings and they say they're illegal or they're legal. Because if they're now on the table, then that's not one. And then this questions them way the opposition leader.
Mr. Toure, are we just seeing the remnants or a replication of precedents set by the APC now being followed by the SLPP in Parliament?
Well, there's an element of that, but in the reality, as we get in front of we here, just like we will be the talk, I just want to talk to me fellow panelists and say, I'm not kind of here for fight with anybody. I kind of here for can say things as I see them, my opinion, which I am entitled to. And I want to tell Mr. Zubaru, say, you know, they use Michael West's dictionary. When I say affirmative action, I mean saying the advantage of somebody, and I explain them clearly. And what you talk in affirmative action, you talk about, and that means I've talked about. So please, let me get them clear. You see, precedents, nothing way dangerous because even at law, when they do law, me not to person way do law, but I know say then they do precedences, then they take cases them as a sample case to case that we don't happen before. For me, then know the kind judgment so that we don't give previously. And obviously, then kind behavior you go hot way. But una dey na parliament, una get other party them, una don't treat them so bad that they make a consortium where can the young killer a party, C4C, and all other subsequent small party them join up with APC. Now them tell the government say, una don't go far with this thing here. 10 months gone. Una not kind of parliament it. Now the opposition and remind them say, una don't go before una they can talk to we. Una not talk to we it. Now that's when they make the proclamation. When they make the proclamation, they want for make them according to how they want them instead of consulting. So when you look at the whole thing, now in a SLPP day in power, they say to whom much is given, much is expected. Now they would expect for set the tone, set the agenda, set the program. But if you want for belows, you don't see land. This land here where you see, you like them. You not go talk to the person who get the land for let you buy a 9 hand. You go begin to go take tipper for Canton, Sansan, and stone at the place. Until somebody can tell you for say, this land here you don't buy it, you say you don't buy it. Now Pakol get this land though. I will go talk to them tomorrow. You don't already trespass na the land. There are people and right now what they talk so then they go to people and host them. They go interview them, saying they do housing census. Where they not give them permission at parliament yet. And then they come out, they talk for say, now the president is power, now he right. President not get power, president not get right. Not to an individual. They represent we. And a representation where they waiting, it gets that duty of care as the president. It gets a job description. And a job description, it get that obligation for make it do that function there. So now it function it do. And rightfully so, he made the proclamation. But who don't know sabi Abass Bundu'S in a man we get road show trip there. Abass Bundu'S now the few man and we land book we make academia make people feel disappointed. Very intelligent man, but he use intelligence not in a way for benefit the country, benefit the community, but now for create animosity, vendetta, bitterness. This business where we get now, we country, where any party will take power, is set a precedence. The other one you can try for surpass in your own precedence. And the precedence is not a good one, them, now bad one, them. It is not on. What foundation would they left for we picking them? And what in Mr. Ali not talk about? Probably Mr. Zubaru said not go talk about that. With all the badness where una talk say don't happen at the country, we not one day get at the history of Sierra Leone, parliamentarian infects na parliament. Now only under Madabio Eternal. And we will see this, they happen in other countries like South Africa, Somalia, but never in the history of Sierra Leone. And the person when at the arbiter, the one that will get the position, na SLPP. Now then for be done, try for do the right thing 10 months ago, do the proclamation then bring a kind of parliament where things for done for be done happen properly. But what me go talk to SLPP is, can the young killer not get jigina yai? A very intelligent man. He not get cross yai. C4C the leader, not get jigina yai. He not get cross yai. All other subsequent opposition party them not agree with the government. Now the government gets the responsibility for make it consult, do proper consultation. Because waiting and call leadership. Leadership now where people they follow you. If you they lead, you turn the end, people are not they follow you, you for go back, meet them, talk to them, encourage them. The word leadership, that's what it means. Right now, SLPP they lead, nobody know they end them. Nobody know they follow them. But they not get the maturity. They not get the understanding and knowledge for realizing you cannot rule alone. You have to bring you colleague them with you and thereby bring the country along. This is something people seem uninterested in. But then get this tendency where they name themselves pauper. Whether una like them or not, una get for eat them. Where they cook,
Okay.
they cook for Imran not like pepper, not put pepper.
Okay, so Mr. Zubai, make I go to you. So Mr. Toure just make the point that we not ever see inside Parliament where fet they be now inside this SLPP government. Now we don't see outside fet they be. But me they ask the question. Yes, inside the APC regime we not see fet they be. But we also know that under the minority rulership of Dr. Bernadette Lahai, that she was suppressed, she was muzzled, she wasn't given, the space to be, a minority leader in parliament. So, what we they see right now as the power struggle or the suppression of the opposition party, did the same not happen but in different form? Yes, we not see a volatile state, but we know and we saw and we witnessed. If Usai 2-1 for talk, we witnessed Usai, the minority party was silenced. They were not being consulted, they were not given the stage and the respect where them is supposed to be given a parliament. So how you call that? Waiting they happen now and waiting may not happen before. How you call that?
We can go back, right? And what causes this? Now I make some time that we can begin to think, right? As a country, as people away civilized, we can think in a broader perspective. Waiting the cause this. If we only think about waiting up in our parliament, they would lose waiting cause them. We begin to see what they can say politicians, they're myopic, and so some citizens them. What does that mean? This waiting happen so it comes because of the foundation of how we begin we country as an independent country. Which are they talk about? Albert Magai, read the division. It's not an affirmative action, but discrimination. Not affirmative action. It's not a right that they give to certain people, but expunge other people than Mr. Imran. So once that don't happen, then you get somebody like a Momo. we come and divide the country to region and party, red and green. Now that's some of the problems that we actually encounter, and now that's what they see today. Now that's what they saw today. Then you get somebody like a Madabio, we're intellectually bankrupt. We don't know how to unite the country. We're bent on people like somebody like Mr. Emmanuel Ali. We're much more smarter than them and follow them. We question we will ask ourselves why we forget census today. But before I go before, Mr. Ali, they talk about SO5. But the people the SO5 now the rule whether they follow the parliament. But to be honest with you, before William, the constitution supersede the SO5. We're not going through in depth on that. But based on that, because of that, Mr. Madabio and Abass Bundu should have adhered to the constitution rather than the SO5 when not just a cop-out. That's exactly what Abass Bundu do in this regard. But the question we'll ask yourself, why a midterm census? We just get a census in 2015, which was good. The international world said now one of the perfect census then. Which Mr. Madabio want to do when now 2 years to an election. On a lot keep we eye on the ball. The reason why, because it won't let them go by the district. Section 38A. Now that's Mr. Madabio intent for do. So the reason why make Mr. Madabio get this, let me tell you that on that Monday day, we not get the funding from IMF. On that Monday day, they not get all the laptop them and everything. Also, they not get a paper trail. Also, they not get 30,000 people. We go begin for counting people. So that the question down there we get for begin ask. But since you say we get for go by the 3 minutes, me they respectfully go by that time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so let me remind you again, your talk time is between 3 to 5 minutes. I said it right at the beginning before we came on here, 3 to 5 minutes. And that's what I'm expecting you all to observe, the 3 to 5 minutes rule, so that everybody go get ample time for thrash out then thought. Mr. Ali, why make the Speaker of the House not consult the opposition and all of the people and we been supposed to consult before it come and call this meeting and table for discussion at Parliament? My question is the SLPP leadership listening? Are they listening to their colleagues? Are they listening to their compatriots? And are they listening to the citizens?
I mean, people can get their opinion on how they think things should go. And on the other hand, we can have constitutional procedures that we follow. The question is not whether there should have been an opinion on consultation. The question is, was the act of the Speaker of the House constitutional? The answer is yes. But I think in all fairness, make I just go back, and I'm not trying to be a moral police here, but when we speak to the country and we acknowledge our respect for all citizens, I think the use of, or the choice of words, we have to be careful. When you begin to talk about this person not get cross-eyed, that person get jigate, that's a little disrespectful to people with disabilities, Mr. Toure. Again, I don't say this in a disrespectful way. I say this in a way that I think should reflect the way we conduct ourselves when we deal with other citizens. I think we're mature enough to understand that every citizen deserves the respect to be respected and not be used as an analogy in a disparaging way. So I hope, I mean, again, I'm not trying to be a moral police, but I think that kind of caught my eye, that we cannot speak without demeaning our fellow citizens who may be handicapped. Having said that, I'm moving on. I just felt like I had to do that. No, the argument on that day was whether, in fact, the census started before Parliament was consulted. So, you know, when we speak for, we talk for, we begin and we young people then for understand, like we frame the argument. The question is, there was two basic processes happens: sensitization and the cartographic mapping. By the way, this census, not to Australia, no more they do, not to Madam President in government, no more they do. The UNDP is involved, the World Bank is involved. In fact, most of the technical component of this census is being provided by World Bank and UNDP. So all of the consultations have been happening, right?
So, Mr. Ali, I go let you make you finish your thought and I go give you more time, obviously. I just want to ask this simple question, even as you talk this question. So just because the UNDP is involved and the World Bank is involved, does that mean that the process is thorough? Does that mean that the process is contextual and that the rules of the House should not be followed just because international donors are involved?
No, the rules of the House were followed. I think I've made the case that when President, within Section 86 of the Constitution, calls Parliament, and no need for G21 day, the Speaker of the House calls the Parliament to order upon the order of the President. That's a constitutional statute. So who said the rules were violated? Can somebody correct me? I don't see it. The argument by the minority leader was SO5 should have prevailed over the Constitution. I think nobody not there will go argue that to be the case. Even Chernomaju knew that SO5 does not supersede the 1991 Constitution. SO5 was in standing order of the proceedings, right? So I think that argument has been laid to rest. I feel we they talk about the fact that then they argue, say, the census be don't start before the president send the statutory orders. Again, let me understand this. The 2002 Census Act already don't authorize the president for call a census at any given time. And the Constitution also gave that power. And every order was followed. The only reason why I bring UNDP and World Bank, now because they were constructively involved in the whole process, we give the process credibility. I would land by saying the whole issue with Chernobyl creating that tension at Parliament, now because in constituency, including the ignorant people that wait on social media, they holler say, not agree or not agree or not agree. And a man who, in my opinion, should have known better, listened to the clowns in social media, the APC clowns in social media. That is exactly what happened. Honestly, that is what happened. He knows better. Chernobyl knows better. Let me stop there.
Okay.
Mr. Ali, I don't think say you go tell me say Paran na a decent person. I don't think say you go call Paran Tarawali now if that's somebody wait for the parliament, considering the corruption and how it behave na parliament. Correct? But also Mr. Emmanuel Ali, when you talk about moral standing, I hope so you remember somebody like Lawrence Lima will look at handicap because the person criticized Mutuka and slap her. I hope so you able to remember as a moral stand the way they put now here today that this cyber law not protect the handicap them where you show say you where you feel say you talk for today. So I hope so you able to remember that thing and day where you make this moral standing. Okay, thank you very much.
I think it's fair that I respond to that.
And the only clown way I seen at this platform now the SLPP party now they na clown because I don't see anybody in the APC they wear red overall, extra size shoes and yellow socks.
Okay,
so
please, that's personal.
Not
that's
use that kind of language. They will not get clowns in the APC. We get very intellectual and decent people.
Okay, so we are digressing. I don't want us to digress. Yes, Mr. Ali, go ahead.
In all fairness, I don't think we should digress. I mean, the only reason we make call Mr. I mean, what happens out there, again, if it happened as Mr. Zubair say, I'm pretty sure somebody called it out. But the only reason why I called this out, I am on this platform. I am participating in a conversation. I think we can be decent enough to respect every Sierra Leonean in spite of their disability. That matters to me. That's all I said.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I open the phone line. 2 minutes, please, because the discussion warm and we still get quite a bit for cover inside this discussion. Yeah, so but even as I open the phone line, I want to make we don't talk about the constitution. The constitution, yes, the constitution supersede SO5, but make we go inside the constitution, make we see what in the constitution say in this particular instances, and then it give directives as to waiting for do, and go ahead and underline this thing we don't bring this debacle inside the parliament. This is what the constitution say regarding this particular section where we they talk about, and this particular issue where we they talk about, and I read, provided that in a case of an emergency of which notice is given to Mr. Speaker by the President, a meeting may be summoned on which notice as Mr. Speaker may determine in consultation with the majority and minority party leader of the House and the Clerk of Parliament. Notice of such meeting may be given to members in such manner as to the urgency of the matter permits. And then it goes on to list, pursuant to subsections 1 and 2 of section 86 of the Constitution, and it lists I know one for go inside the little things them way it lists. We are talking about the Constitution, and this is what the Constitution says. It is clear, in consultation with the majority and minority party leader of the House and the Clerk of Parliament. Mr. Ali, why was this breach?
Okay, I'm glad you gave me the opportunity. Let me take this moment for correct that statement. I respectfully would submit that you have not properly read or understood that particular phrase in the Constitution. Let me draw your attention to the specific verb, may. You see, when constitutions are written, typically there are two verbs used. If you use the word may or you use the word shall. You see, if the language is may, it does not have to consult. If it's shall, he has no option. Hold on, let me finish. So the Speaker was absolutely within his constitutional bounds to either consult or not consult, depending on the urgency of the issue, because it did not say shall. The language is not shall, it's may.
Okay. However, sir, However, sir, I understand the English language, and I think, I consider myself a good mastery of the English language. I understand the difference between may and shall. However, precedents are set, and you cannot ignore precedents. Within Parliament, there has been a precedent set that with this constitution, this is the only constitution that we have had, and this is the constitution under which consultations have been held in the past, and the use of the shall has never come into question. Why in this case, in this particular junction, when we are at a critical moment in our democracy, when we can even say that we are at a point of a fragile state to some, would you choose the interpretation of the may and the use of shall? Why not do things as they have been done in the past in a cordial manner?
Well, I wish life was that specific and life was that predictable. Again, the situation in question was to table a statutory order which the president was empowered by through the Census Act of 2002. And because of the urgency of the situation, the Speaker called Parliament to order. He may or may not have consulted before calling Parliament. The fact of the matter is, he was within the confines of the Constitution. And there is no basis on which anybody now will say, for the 60 years of we country, or from 1991, where we get the current Constitution, that every time Parliament have been called, that every party was consulted. We don't know that. I don't know that. So let's not quote precedents that we do not know. Let's not do that. We will be misinforming the public. That is not true. The fact remains, the Speaker was within the rules of the Constitution. It says may. It didn't say shall. If it had said shall, he was bound by law to consult. If it says may, it is conditional. Let's just let we educate with beginner. That way, and it is a fact.
So definitely now we want to go into the grammatics of English in order to justify something. But we'll hold it
we're
there.
Going into the language of the Constitution. That is not what I'm doing.
Okay, we will hold it there, but there were precedents that have already been set. And if precedents have already been set and gratis have been given in the past, I see no reason why gratis should not be given here. That's all I'm saying. But I need to go to the callers. I will come to you, Mr. Ture and Mr. Zubairu. However, to my viewers, please mind your language. Please, no profanity. I would ask the technical team to monitor the languaging on the comments, please, and remove anyone who doesn't seem to have, some civility within them to have civil debates, please, and engage in civil conversations. I've been seeing a lot of profanities going on, and I do not appreciate that. People can banter, but do so respectfully. Caller, waiting are your name and who say you the call from?
Me na Ibrahim the call from yes.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Miss Maltida, thank you very much. May God bless you. We the couch, we family together in Sierra Leone. First of all, I want to tell the panel then thank you, but they give advice via make them mind their words them because we the young one we learn from them. We they talk, for attack somebody personality. If somebody begin tell say the other supporters then a clown there, tell well, we are big. Let them mind their words there. We say they learn from them. We know say everybody get outside belong, but now for the benefit of Salone, they talk. What happened at Parliament that day, it's rather unfortunate for see lawmakers then they build and can't build and it was shameful. Me, I'm not able to end myself because I shame, all I will see the one they will see and they will wait for copy from, then they build and can't build and they. What you will try for tell them where you did in governance, not say because now you did in governance, and what you want now you for do. But all this problem, now this constitution, I need to cover the problem for we. Now make them people are not want to change the constitution. And I blame back the former president, Ernest by Kuroma, because the late Justice Kawan don't go around the country, they don't spend billions of leons. When they're able to review the constitution, at the end of the day, they don't spend all that money and the time where they encourage an Ernest in table, do nothing. And they see the same thing they continue. Where President Bill come by the same thing. Now 5 years they can't do so. Where instead if you don't accuse the former presidents for voting, they don't spend money, no able to change the constitution. Instead up to this time, no see nothing they go on. So then they do not want for say they only the favor of until they in favor of them. They don't care about we the citizen there. Because if now this constitution they able to change for we, then reduce the powers of the president, they get any kind of problems they are. But if you not change this 1991 constitution, we get forever get problem in that country day. Because any political party we can in governance, then they use their power, say now they in power. If APC be don't do wrong, we now be on political assessment will be condemned. Why not save an account? They can do the same thing. How we country get for go before? We the young man they come up. How we get for get law for the country? We know they are the country again one go, but the student can't get the help. How they get law for going at the country?
Okay, thank you very much, Kola, because you see the line wham and the show wham, everybody they stand on the grounds, everybody they make them points. So 2 minutes, I go to the next caller. Caller, waiting on your name and who side you call for. Hello, caller.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
You go Waiting are your name and who say you the call from?
Now my name Peter. I dey call from Arizona.
Okay, go ahead. What you get for we this evening?
Yeah, I just want to say plenty thank you to the moderators, and I just want for say one or two words. In the first place, I want for speak directly to Miss Fatima. On the last program, where you misunderstand me, I'm not ever say it belong to a political party. I say everybody where they under again political party where they support. I'll be really sorry where it gets wrong. I'll not be me for attacker. Then I want. Then secondly, I want Matunda to make you know one thing. We all they see the time where they give Zibaru, where they go up and down, they talk like say the country in hand. You know, in the first place, somebody will not recognize as your president. And not see no reason why you for even contribute to that country. Either if they go wrong or if they go bad. You say, Mr. Madabiu, Zimbabwe does stuff for cause this president before you become president. They say they demonstrate. If they even compare, say, Mr. Emmanuel, he eloquent as the president, if they falara. Now somebody will not competent. Come on. You can't do that. You can't do that. It's so indecent. And Matilda, you said in the radio, now you moderate. There are certain words the way they command at people a lot. Let us have our conscience. Because you see, one thing about Sierra Leone, today they Allah say, oh, this government, they happen. But what if they cause the problem? People they know they go for them. Now what no more they happen, now they go for them. And I don't feel say they do justice to Sierra Leone. So be honest and kindly enough. We know they do justice to that country. We all been in a Salone for the past 10 years. What in the happen, we know they wish for me to happen under the regime of this present government. But let us just be decent enough and call things by their name. We see what happen at Parliament. Even if we are not need for call anybody, but the clerk for that be the first person who have to say, for that able for talk to her before they invite political party. And let me tell you, Zibaru is not. I'm coming. Let me just rest. Zibaru is not an NGC. You know, not just bunch of APCs and you go put them in a panel with against Emmanuel. You know the mighty words them. I'm being honest. You know the mighty words they just talk.
Okay, thank you very much, caller. I will go to the next caller. But before I go to the next caller, make I just say, caller, you don't know me rules of engagements. Them, you don't know what discussions I had with my panelists before they came on here. They are grown men, grown folks who are entitled to their opinion, who can conduct themselves in a manner they so wish. I have told them my rules. I have given them my rules of engagement. It is up to them. Because at the end of the day, they are portraying themselves, they are not portraying me. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to stifle or, monitor how they speak or in the manner in which they choose to speak. They are grown men who can handle themselves, who can have a civil debate amongst each other, who can agree to disagree. And secondly, I don't think you are in a position to say who supports a political party or who doesn't support a political party because you don't know, you're not in their shoes, neither can you walk a mile in their life. So I think say even as you the give we caution, I think say mirror that caution also to yourself even as we go along. I go to the next caller. Caller, waiting are your name and who say you the call from.
Good morning, Mrs. Jekul.
Yes, good morning.
How are you? Istanbul. I call from Istanbul.
Yes, go ahead. What you get?
I just want to leave my own premise clear now in this issue of the parliamentarians. Them, it's really sad to we for let me see the one they really go represent we in a parliament. We not then go make laws, then the feds. This whole saga start off by the way they remove the 10 parliamentarians, then another parliament, we see the opposition, they not do anything towards that. They impose speak another house, they not do anything in a sense like say we don't pull we members then a parliament, then go grab, then go do something let the layman know say this thing we didn't do to and then people and they not call for. You see that parliament day, now then they represent we. Start off this Abass Bundu, the manner of we then start off all the things that it be really wrong for we na Sierra Leone. Like seriously. You the see we Chaikoko they tell say Mr. Speaker, give me the mic, let me self talk. Then they refuse the mic, not for game, let me make a point. I guess now a democratic world we live, everybody gets right to your opinion. Mr. Emmanuel Dinaya, it supports the government upon all them bad things they really do. It supports them, it defends them strongly. And all the members say, hey, this team will do so, where this government will do so, not for today. Tomorrow, other governments here for come. Now that Kandium Kelasi. No, by fire, by force, or the pass bill them. Fire by force for pass the bill, for like affect the layman, cyber crime, what's it get for you to read? Census now we talk about census, people in the cry say things are very difficult in our country. The bread and butter we presidency they can't handle for we. Nothing like that to not say Mr. Emmanuel, you day under, you well educated. Now we talk to. Let us say today because now we in a power with the most rule the opposition. Hey, in case tomorrow you self go as opposition. Now do me, I do you now so we end up we also we go. Look watch other nations then they go. I guess everybody in that panel na big man. Una lo think for today. We suffer people and they suffer that good today. Una the student panel is not talk to. Really painful for us member of parliament for all governments them accountable. Una not do to me for we nothing. It's really painful for let people the student for talk for we and they talk.
Okay, caller. The caller got emotional there. We're so sorry. You know, and say all condole dom. You know, no Uswan in Bele the art passing campaign, and I think that was a typical demonstration of that saying. We all na kondo den wele dom, but we never can tell Uda in Bele the art passing campaign. I hope that we all collectively arrive at a junction where we can all self-actualize, self-realize, and we not feel, say, we are being victimized or that we are being suppressed one way or the other. I will go to the next caller. Caller within your name and who the call from.
Hello.
Yes, caller, go ahead. Waiting your name and who the call from.
It's the wonderful caller from California, unknown caller from California. Am I talking to Madam Matilda?
Yes, you are. Go ahead, please.
Unakabo. We don't come back again with Alibaba and the 40 thieves. I wonder why make Emmanuel fall under the 40 thieves. Mr. Emmanuel, I know you for become intelligent, but it's like you are beyond now waiting I want for say. Madam Matilda, you know why make Abass Bundu? Because now 2 minutes I get go quick and to the point. You know why make Abass Bundu succumb to Mother Bio in stupid decision? I will tell you why. Abass Bundu went back in Ostem. They Ostem way Pakaba. You remember where them he sees their house them inside Sport Loop. Today they don't get the courts don't get back their house them because he agree with Mother Bio for the stupidity way happen inside Parliament. But let I tell you back one thing. Mr. Emmanuel, I want you to know one thing. I get respect for you and I get respect for all the big ones. But sometimes una they go beyond how una supposed to go for una kind of power. No good thing una no do. Always what they do, na kill, destroy. How na this may don't do this. Any government will come, it begin point finger at other people. Then is the most stupid president. We take him here so from this guy in term, Trump. You see when he come, he start for oppose. We see the stupidity. We see the worst way he do inside America. Now the same thing so una says they do. Why una they destroy una young people then? I know say you don't make your money down in America. Why you destroy you all again inside next game? Why you not put yourself come out and speak the truth all the time and be at the top of the people then? Why you your life you they join out with Mother Bio where Mother Bio they think? Una na total failure na the country, in fact the world, una na total failure. Let I begin analyze for una. Remember, every good leader, people and follow una because of una fruit. If una not get nothing where una they give to the people, then they will never follow una. And I ain't happen so na salute. Waiting una get to get the people then. If it's not to kill, tomorrow gonna affect. If it's tomorrow not to kill, point finger. All the time una they move una your way. Una be careful. I go stop here so for now because of time. But I go do for now.
Okay, sometimes some people are composed, other times they are not that composed. But again, we live in a democracy. We have to allow people exercise their freedom of democracy, their rights to speech, and their rights to, say whatever it is that they want to say. Sometimes it's better to let them speak than to bottle it in and then do something else with that frustration. I will go to the next caller. Caller, waiting at your name and you say you the call for rights to speech and their rights to,
Hello?
say whatever it is. Yes, go ahead. You need for doll. You said Usai they listen because I they get feedback and I they hear me say.
Okay. Sorry about that. So you okay now?
Yes, go ahead. Yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
I'm in Brenda. I call from London. I take a different stand. I listen to the last caller and whatever. We they talk about green.
Okay, if you can mind for speak up, issue voice up small. Do your issue voice up small for the listeners then?
Okay. You there now, eh?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello? Okay. What this guy for say? I hear you the last caller and some other callers, okay? We they talk about green versus red and what happen in parliament. Me they take a different stand because although a lot of people not understand, say some of we not in a no party, we own party now the people their welfare. You understand? And even callers that we can come, they shout and they talk the president stupid and whatever. For me, I find that a bit disgusting because the callers themselves, you see Sierra Leone in downfall, everybody responsible, including me. You understand? Even the citizens, them look at how then they behave. Even all over social media, like you, I believe that particular caller we talk just not so. So self, you're not directly affected. Instead of getting your own selfish motive, and like many other Sierra Leoneans, them the selfishness now don't make with them usa with this so. Going forward, me as a Sierra Leonean, a patriotic Sierra Leonean, one act and let you some of we because we get some people that way they will never ever be patriotic. So we not a bother with some people then you understand. But going forward, waiting are we recommendations then to the government because whether not SFPP do, whether not APCO, for me they are all the same. You understand what I mean? Yeah. Now we brother and sister then they grab and go na power. All the promises they when they promise when they go na different things. So now going forward, we were there in greater number. What we go do? You understand? So what's betterment of Mama Salone? Because when we come to churches the hour, the churches themselves they pan their own 1/10. You understand? Then they pan their own tithe and their own business. We not get nowhere for go for let people then cry on behalf of we where they suffer and we care for Salone more than them two party then they because me not tired with them two party then they red and grey. I don't tire. Me not the stick color right now. I just want to Sierra Leone restore in glory and forge ahead. Let we make recommendations. Always criticizing. You know the can we go anywhere? We don't go round and round.
Okay, thank you very much, Brenda. I will take 3 more calls and I will close the phone line for tonight because panelists then forget them for rebut or respond to it and then we get 2-3 more questions then for Motspan. And it don't late now London right now, so Mr. Toure they call from, but again, like I say, to stay up this late at night or even in the morning because it's morning hours now, his time. If not loyalty to country, what else? Caller waiting at your name and who they call from. Hello, caller. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, please. Waiting at your name and who they call from. 2 minutes.
From Switzerland.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello? Okay.
Yes, go ahead, please.
You see, okay, the whole problem, but what happened last week, not to SLPP, not to APC. Now we constitution. And the SLPP, yes, indeed, they work within the mandate of the constitution. Every government in that country don't go against the people, because not the constitution, because the constitution give them more rights. But how we go to correct that? Not to proceed on a panel, they argue this guy right, this no guy right. Let we look at the constitution. How on earth a constitution go give a president mandate for someone the people who wouldn't give power at any time where he feel? You see? And the people they act within the constitution. Now within the constitution say a very bad, but not yes, not true. Now so the constitution say that the president key in where the subject, in where the subject can summon the people who put on a power at any time where he feel. You know, so when we want correct it, let we go first to the constitution. This thing be happen in SLPPS, it not be happen at parliament, but it happen within the other three arms of government. It be happen all the time. If we not correct the constitution, it get for the happen. Because the constitution give the president too much power, even more than the parliament, because that's what museum. So if one correct, let we correct first the constitution, then we talk of all other things. But at this stand now, the president get right for someone and waiting, it shall or may, yes, Mr. Ali get a right. If the other people immediately consult, okay, that's the right. But that no means if the other do not consult, they're wrong, because the constitution say you shall or may. So now we correct the constitution first. We give the government and the president too much power, even over the people who them elect them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. I'll go to the next caller. Caller, waiting on your name and who say you call from. Hello, caller.
Yes, Mr. Ezekiel, they call from Oregon. You get me?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, thank you. I think we don't get a lot of nice people and don't call and don't talk a lot of salient things. Then, I think to me, every time we at the look at Salone, at the try for wonder, when we will get a leader, we go definitely try to put national plan in place. You know, they happen at Sierra Leone right now. We not get no national plan. You know, party come, he put a plan in place. And sadly, when that party is replaced, we don't get no other plan. If the plan is to go on, all of a sudden, that party lost power, that plan don't go. I wish we'll get a leader where go definitely come with a national plan. Whether power change in change, everybody happy for that plan. You know, me, I don't know the details of the constitution, but you as a leader where you want for selecting function. Let's put them simple in a business term. You know, me, I thank my manager and I was father. Just imagine if I say, power, what see are not in report, night for happen, now the branch. Regardless of whether they tell us they're happy, whether the bankers they're okay. Can you imagine the result we will get? Now this with me at the look at how long? 3 years now. What is right now? Anybody waiting at that point, there's no teaching us right away for peace. That's emergency thing. Look at what they happen with the police and personal abuses where you go on. Where is the emergency on that? For long we put things straight. Where is the emergency of the bread and butter thing? I don't know. I'm not saying the constitution and call for emergency not correct, but they say, is that really a priority? You know? Me at the look at why they see people the love where you get for your country. Why are you go express them? These people where people and they go around I get love for the country. Not the now you love. Now you people if you see one person hate black, now that country day, you for people I'm a Sierra Leonean. Where is that love from leaders? Where is that love?
Okay, so this next call go be my last call for tonight. I'm sorry, viewers. I'm sorry, everybody else waiting at the line. As he said, the line still jam, but please, we have to close a program. We have a timeline. We get a time, and we need to respect the time. And already we are edging close to, the time of the program, top of the hour. Okay. Caller, waiting at your name and who say you the call from. Hello, caller. Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah. One of the things that we want for say, but I'll be cut off now that if we dey talk about the parliament, Maltinda, make we just see what happen. For me, you just see clear picture say the opposition at see where they be don't design them, at see where they be don't sit down, they don't plan how for do it. They get the bold mind, the whole one mic that they behave like na South Africa opposition because they always APC they copy from other political parties there, where they not get any good thing for do for that country. Somebody hold mic, they make advert. Now so the parliament don't they. Now so Abass would not on parliament. Let's end it. They see South Africa opposition dress with red cap, Benham. They do the same thing, Makini Life Matter. These are the things we need for good to talk about. You know, a lot of our boys that just go pack themselves na that place. And people in na overseas where they not say, bunch of those guys, they do things that were not correct. We need to talk about that. Everything is about government. Government, now a body, not one person. We all for work, hand in glove. For say any government we can make it able for succeed. But if you the police Salone man, you go sit on a radio, they talk about president incompetency, how he not do nothing. Come on. But you ain't not get small butter, you ain't not get small brain, you ain't not get small oil for make you go reconsider yourself, say, no, this what you are wrong. For make I refer somebody as very incompetent. Come on. Zibaru, wake up, man. That's saying they're not about you, young man. Many politicians, they're not going to use you now for kind of media, they attack one person for the past 4-5 years. You know, that's what today back, I be see one picture about Apple. Quick, when I don't put on social media. You be the part of it. You make comments. I read them. You know, put the man there and it go try for educate now. You know, I get kudos. It go able for put, you know, some sense into some of the things the way they talk, where you not saying all right. They say not talk like saying affect you for fact. Well enough for all man. Well enough for all man. Una more work together and make that country a better one. What do you do for Salone? It just
Okay, thank you very much, caller. I don't close the phone line for tonight. Thank you to all of the callers. Them I go give me panelists them not more than 3 minutes, please. I think say a lot of what was said is air, but just focus on the centrality of the argument. 3 minutes each, please, for rebut within the callers then say, or if you want to add or whatever or dispute. I will start with Mr. Zubairo. We're not hearing you. I don't know if you put your mic off.
Okay, you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Good. I know they called my name a couple times already. But when somebody started to disrespect the president because I differ with him, but the measures as Mr. Marabiu, that's the way I want to call him, Mr. Marabiu. I know call him His Excellency Brigadier. I don't know the go for that guy today. Me not to get complex by anybody because the waiting. But also somebody say that it's fulfilled me, any politician, me not agency person, but I can tell you nobody, not then is white or kind of young killer will tell me waiting for say. I respect them, and they go by the rules, and I support them, and I advocate with them for sometimes. But they talk for me on country. But then we look at Mr. Who that caused this? Inside, waiting make them the fetch the parliament today. Who that's responsible? Who that make it happen? It not happen never, except now. Now the leader where we get, Mr. Marabiu. First of all, Mr. Marabiu not able for be a leader. A leader na person where they lead people them, make people them follow, and people they respect them. A president is somebody where they help a country, move a country from the bottom to the top.
Mr. Madabi no able to, regardless of what you think about Shaka Pobi Stevens, if we're able to control in country, Madabi not even able to control in your house. Let we see how it works. It respects the ordinary citizens in them. We see how he said he will take the law into your hand. Mr. Madabi not able to stop the web. You see the corruption, how it happened in our country. Mr. Madabi still allow less than the thief. The 6 months when Madabi take over the country, now $144 billion loss. Leon's loss. Mr. Madabi not say nothing. The following year, now 177 billion Leon's loss. Mr. Madabi not say nothing. The coronavirus money loss. Mr. Madabi not say nothing. And now for the census, Mr. Madabi, instead of don't tell the country, say, if they are about to put this, they bring into parliament. Now the dying minute because people are raised question, now they bring parliament to talk about this. So the question we go ask ourselves, who that caused this? Who that are the person where they cause this innate, this division of the country? No Madabi, I don't think say it gets the cloud or the mental way they call for able for dissect and how for lead we country. It is Southwest Sierra Leone that they look this man and give him power. He gets a plan. Mr. Madabi come with a plan. Madabi not able for uphold to them plan that they were put together. You when I listen to him a couple of weeks ago, where they talk, you find out that Mr. Madabi not able for even articulate a young plan the way it come with. It refer to somebody like Jeje Safa when are a kleptomania. Who that's responsible for with demise today? Now, Mr. Madabi, you see the extrajudicial killing. My cousin in West, if brother Nine kills Sona Hastings, they still they bleed for land. You see the constant killing and people that they become very angry. Mr. Madabi, if we continue like this, there will be a war that we continue. And you will be responsible. And Madabi thrive on war and indifferences. Mr. Madabi like the fight. When they call the editor general, when a fine woman, when a Creole woman, when they say if you saw it program, the kind way when they pressure him, while he had the pressure him, Mr. Madabi say, what about me West? Mr. Madabi now a politician that possibly choose say he want to be president. So they give to him, now they make reference to in West. We wouldn't also rights now if I go through this, a young man just cost me, mommy. So what? I can begin make a big deal. You see, Jenny Safa and everybody the tip that we continue. Then they give them slap on the wrist. Look within the SSC director they talk. After we know say $15 million don't lost through Mrs. Madabi. The SSC director, it said in the go for go begin investigate and it's by command and then people and then before it come to Mrs. Bill. We don't need census, man. We don't need census. The only thing where Mr. Madabi they do census for now because in no say when they begin the census, they're not going to complete them. And when they're not complete, I go use the constitution and when instead of constituency, then they use them like for use for district them. And for that reason, they go win the election. This is about winning the election. Now I make Mr. Madabi they win the census. So we problem if we not come to give with that, we lost. So now I make every person, whether in the NGC, C4C, and all the other 9 political parties, let we stand against this. Let we stand against the cyber law. But anyway, we'll continue. We'll not talk too long.
Okay, thank you very much. Make I go to Mr. Ali. Mr. Ali, I will make you respond.
You know, generations from now, I challenge everyone, say history will reflect and record President Bill as perhaps the most visionary, the most progressive, the most genuine, the most personable individual and leader Sierra Leone ever know. Again, I say that and I mean it. And I know say history go judge him that way day. But let we let him. We'll go move on. Back to the concerns of the callers then. One caller talk say we not get a national development plan. I think the usefulness of this conversation is to help callers them for understand the difference between the fiction and the fact. President Bill begat a 2018 manifesto. I challenge everyone for access them and read them with all the agenda and implants them. Before I develop that manifesto, I want to challenge everybody for look at the UN Millennium Development Goals them by the United Nations. Certain goals them where every country in the world, the UN, when a global international body say, let we try to accomplish their objective here, whether in a poverty alleviation, granting of civil rights and civil liberties to individuals and so on and so forth. And now that we bring onto President Bill in 2019-2023 medium range development plan. So all of these are correlated and connected. So for that, individual will say we not get plan. Not true. Let's just educate ourselves on how this government they work. And the person where you talk about the Constitution and the president or reformer, let me remind you, the president currently again, you know, the problem with social media is the fact that there is so many unsourced assertions. That is the danger. We could just put video where come out Timbuktu. We put out say, hey, this is not Salone happen. People that waiting on social media not go vet them, they not go ask, they not go know when that video happen, when it not happen, boom, they throw them out. It's not Salone happen. This happen. A problem of unsourced assertions. We must be careful. But Australian Constitution, like I said again, President Bill, as we they speak, don't put a committee together headed by the Deputy Minister of Justice for review a series of constitutional reviews that were done, submitted to President Kuruma, which Kuruma puts now in folder or in closet, never took it out. Some provisions within that constitution that are not in keeping with the values of our country, such as the death penalty.
Could you say it again, please?
I'm sorry. Such as the death penalty, such as even the exclusion. I'm sorry, stupid iPhone. I apologize. You know, such as the death penalty, such as even the exclusion of dual citizenship to national offices. All of that is being reviewed. So for the benefit of the viewers, I appreciate Miss Matilda and VOS. Make we get a conversation here. So if somebody get out, we could tell them. One final point. You know, if we really must debate the facts, President Bill in government can win hands down. Let our reference a research and global agency that looks at good governance, that assesses political rights and civil liberties, which is the Freedom House. They've been in existence since 1973. Policymakers reference them, politicians reference them, researchers reference them. So don't take it from me, take it from them. If you look at the Freedom House rankings on political rights and civil liberties and many other indexes, let me perhaps take two corridors then. One, the Mano River Union, the 4 countries were involved, and let me take perhaps the ECOWAS. For the benefit of those that do not know, Sierra Leone ranks higher than the 4 Mano all the other 3 countries in the Mano River Union when it comes to civil liberties and political rights. Right? Liberties? And many other indexes. Hold on, let me finish. Right? Now let me go to ECOWAS. Hello, let's be respectful here. Let's be respectful here. Let's be respectful here. You are distorting the facts. Let's be respectful here.
Okay.
Let's be respectful here.
Allow him his time. He has graciously allowed you your time. You have to allow him his time.
I appreciate that, Miss Matilda. The ECOWAS, 16 member countries, I challenge you for go rank them. There are only 3 countries that slightly rank higher than Sierra Leone on those metrics. You know, so let us be very, well, again, like I said always, if we're arguing on the facts, President Bio in government will come in history as the most progressive, the most reliable. The government will not move the people them. It's kind of interesting. Let me land with this. I was reading a quote today from Frederick Douglass, perhaps the most prominent slave ever, who become an abolitionist. I think he made a statement that is appropriate to Sierra Leone and to many people. He says, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. That's Douglas. It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Think of the population of Sierra Leone. A good 70% of the population of Sierra Leone is below the age of 45. APC and the conduits them have destroyed our children who are men today. And we wonder why these kids cannot be controlled on the streets of Freetown. Let me remind you again of the words of Frederick Douglass, that it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. If only we had built those children under the APC decades, we will not be struggling today to repair the broken men that roam the streets of Freetown. But President Bio in government, they do everything for include everyone and rebuild our country that have been breached and destroyed over the decades. Let me pause.
Mr. Toure, your take.
Mr. Emmanuel,
Wow.
you make Adihala they call shame. Shame, where are you? I want to let shame appear like how sheep appear in a bush for Abraham for full sacrifice. For make you will get small respect for the people of Sierra Leone. For make you they can't team up now, you they lie through your teeth. Let me put this to you today. Not only bring free education. Free education per Abass starter up to about 50%. All primary school picking them get free education. And as Koroma come, he make them for all girls. Then he subsidize and he pay the fees for the picking them. So about 70% of free education we don't already exist. Now 30% now full up una can full up. So basically it's like Mr. Emmanuel gonna kukri bafa. He meets Mr. Toure, one for buy kukri, I get 5 pounds, and the kukri na 7 pounds. I beg you 2 leon, you full up me money to 7 leons for buy kukri, I buy kukri, then you go claim now to everybody say, now you buy kukri for me. Not so you buy kukri for me. Now you full up the money for me for buy kukri. You they talk for say when I get vision. You don't let you look at the things that when I don't do this short term when I come in 3 years. The Minister of Finance come na Parliament. He can't ask say where the presidents they go by a vulture travel them for go big because now Isabili la Yarasuli with the pempa because until you know say we get Manjalaji culture na Sierra Leone for big. He say when they get money enough for accounts for the money. So now the vision that's what he say that man they get. Now the first thing this ever in the history of Sierra Leone, the wife of the president will not elect. They go to bank, they go draw state money. Because I know Henry we talk about the allegations there. I go call them allegations. They make a levy against Suna. Check numbers then they. Transaction numbers then they. They were so detailed. they can't pretend before the Sierra Leonean people. When you go begin show respect for people, una SL people, una they lie with impunity. In fact, from today, at the beginning, they call you Madabio a conjoined twin because you are partner to the lies. And I go talk to this platform, make them consider for stop you for come team up now the life and the Sierra Leoneans. The reason being, things and the way you talk when are fiction, not to facts. Like for instance, Marabio get vision.
Mr. Ture, let me just stop there and say we go continue, but I go just stop there right now and say just like where some people go take your opinion as fiction. Now so then go take Mr. Ali some of your opinion them as fiction. Now so then go take myself your opinion them as fiction, and now so then go take all my opinion as fiction. But that is not enough for me to stop an individual from appearing on a platform because they are entitled to their own.
If I can try for land, please, because me
right.
Are you done? Wait. In all fairness, he's called my name a million times. In all fairness,
just one quick point. Let him finish. Let him finish, and you will come back. Just keep listening.
He said your phone is about me. Wow.
Give some respect, please. You know, when they lie repeatedly, when a compulsive liar them, all the claims them what you they make. Show me 2 things what una don't do. Una kill people them now the country. Let for say people in a game. Una just they shoot they kill. Now the police them be brutal. Now they don't brutal pass ever. Look that it see where policeman all gun magazine they whap na e aid. Now so me belly they cringe and they get goosebumps. You know they ever condemn the wrongs and where they go. And me go agree at this juncture and at this point with Mr. Zubaru. Mr. Zubaru, I agree with you. Say you know they call Madabio excellency. You they call person say inner excellency because they do things that way excellent. What excellent work where Madabio don't do in that country day? He took 80 million before he go. He come back. He don't take 3 million. He give you wealth. You know account for him. Then when they interview him, the man where Mr. Ali they praise. Journalists ask you questions. Say you did good with the former president. He say you did good with your former boyfriend. That was low. That was disgraceful. They ask you say the country divided. And with man and divider, they divide it into 4. We can divide it into 2. What then they ask them, you not even understand them, you not able to comprehend them. They're not they talk about physical division, they talk about social division. It failed at that point today. But you not go come at least a letter exposed. This and let me tell you something, Mr. Ali. Sierra Leone, we all country. But Creoman say, Combra fall not the jump fire side. You get picking them. You get your legacy and your footprints where you left. Be careful. This badness one they do at the place, in fact, can be a blessing for APC. When and then at the doghouse. Now, when I don't make APC look like angel. Even me when they talk now, so I not be the support APC. Now, this one behavior don't drive me to APC because I said to myself, I say we not go see them bad actors them. They make bad decisions now we country, we they suffer. For change the outcome, and they encourage every freeborn Sierra Leonean for getting into politics. Either directly or indirectly. You go be activist, you go join political party, you go be MP. Like what in Miss Matilda they do. God bless you, my dear sister. For let we make with people and eye open. But Mr. Ali, you they do we country great injustice. There is nothing wrong for make you look your party and tell them for say, me brother, I they support you, but the road where you they go, this is not the right road. Just like what Martin Luther King say. Not a waiting day, fine. Waiting go wrong. You pick the stand where you they take. The stand where you they take now, me brother. It not go show you, say you get integrity. Take a stand where positive for the people them. Madabio is a person. And if you they support a person, then you are not patriotic. A patriotic person, a person where they support the state, the country, show love for your country, not love for individual. So, Mr. Zubaru, I take my hat up to you where you bold enough for stand up and say, I not hate Mother Bio. I just not agree with the principles them where it bring come now we country. It don't bring we country right down. We country we don't go low. Yes, not all the entire fault, but we dey expect say when it come, it give we a promise, it would have kept the promise. Muna all be the holla say APC broke constitution where it sacks some Sumana. You, Mr. Alias, you in America where the holla, mother ABK na tif, and all that thing and they. What una kind of power? When I don't begin broke constitution, when I go put speaker, we're not supposed for Didi. Not all get majority. When I pull 10 MP them, when I not do by election, when I put who down one for put, then they not so not constitutional. We can get census now the country from 1822 and every 10 years. Una say power pan the first 10 this where they can do midterm. Una one can do midterm census. And the people are not one time. They're not interested in them. We don't have Sierra Leone right now, so they talk so. We not get hospital. Now clinic then we get. Anybody tell me for say Sierra Leone gets hospital, I go challenge them. Because as I sit here, I study hospital management degree. So I know the difference between hospital and the clinic. We don't have an hospital. We not get water for drink. Now drinking water, now in make the Portuguese then fend Sierra Leone in 1460. Freetown na peninsula, waiting a peninsula, almost surrounded by water. We people are not get drinking water for drink, boy, not shameful. And that blame they are not going to just put on for Mother Bio, put on for all successive governments. So these are the things for the talk about. Not for cancer, don't me when they tell you now. So I choose for support APC now. But believe you me, if APC win election, then do wrong, I will resign. And I will be the very first person we go come out for condemn them. And I ask you today, with all them killings, then we don't happen as Sierra Leone. Would you please condemn your party for those actions?
Okay, so Mr. Ali been one for respond. Make a respond quickly at the time for wrap up the show. Go ahead, Mr. Ali.
Yeah, again, I thank you, Miss Matilda, but the other guests, you're here to present your argument. You're not here to be intimidated by Emmanuel's argument. To the extent that you would go that low and say Emmanuel should not be allowed to speak, for me, it reflects the greatest lack of confidence in yourself to debate the issues. The issues are very clear. I have given you sourced facts about President Bio in presidency. Argue them. Be respectful, sir. Argue them. Okay. Argue them. Counter those points. That's what a debate is all about. That's what a democratic society is all about. That's what the public deserves.
You are not debating.
For goodness sake, hold on. I gave you your time. Don't be intimidated by the facts. They're just the facts. You can build your own facts. For 60 years, of let's say 5 decades, APC gave us war. They exploited our children. They exploited our economy. And we had 11 years of war. APC. Those are the facts. That's history. You can't change it. In just 3 years. Hello, excuse me. I'm talking. I have the floor. In 3 years, we can debate the data. The best finance minister ever in JJ Safar. The best president ever. Don't take it from me.
Lord have mercy.
Take it from World Bank. Take it from UN. Let me just give it back to you, Miss Matilda. The facts are the facts. Let the people debate it. Are you that intimidated that you're worried that if you debate me, your points will be lost and APC would be seen as a non-relevant party?
Lies, blatant
Come on,
lies.
man. Okay, I yield. I yield.
Okay, Mr. Zubai, let me try for round up.
Thank you.
God,
I know this is kind of excited. The time too short for we. If we get 20 minutes in this debate,
honestly,
in the plan the way Mr. Ali they talk about, they get a million plan, right? The plan the way they get,
Now we come to agriculture. We still Salone, we still the import, what we they eat. Right now in our country, $300 million now they with the import for feed reserve na Salone. We're not able for feed reserve on the matter bill. When it comes to transportation, we still get the same transport. You go today between Wellington to PZ, it says 3 hours na road. When it comes to the water system under matter bill in administration, still the beginning and they fight till 5 o'clock in the morning they get water. When it comes
Honestly.
to the lights in our country, now only 15% of the country they get lights at any given time. This is fact on matter bill. When it comes to the free quality education, there's no such thing as free quality education. For example, we still get the dilapidated school, oversized, we still get 2 shifts them. How much does Madabio spend on each pikin per semester? Now $1. So only thing Madabio they do now for pay school fee. And the person, they call the people who they feed the pikin and now only 39,000 pikin and then they feed. They call it JAM. Now, ordinary people that we come together, when they beg money, when they feed only 39,000 Pekin, when there 2 million Pekin there today, that we country, when they go school, how much does Mother Bill spend? We family for this school, we say it is spent 21% of we got, we what we get that we consolidated for per year. Pakaba spent 3.7% of the money. And as by command spend 17%, Madabio spend 21%. And how much are the 21% per year? Now $500 million. So in the 2 years, Mr. Madabio don't spend $1.1 billion. What do we get out of the $1.1 billion when Madabio don't spend? Under and as by command, the beginner will take the worst exam. Then 70% fail. Other mother bill we spend more money than 95% they fail. It fail in that regard. When it comes to, I get to be brother and call McBella and Emmanuel Ali, they tend for come and spewed this they begin cite the Millennium and all the international organization them. After they concoct and fabricate all the things that they talk about, sir, then they can't lie. When Madabio take over the country, the $1 now be 750 leons. Today, now 1.1 million leons for $1. When Madabio take over the country, we fumble them. Now be 250,000 leons for 1 bag yes. Today, now almost 400,000 leons for 1 bag yes. Mr. Ali. When it comes to Mr. Madabio for borrow money, as we talk so, JJ Safadon collect $400 million. As we talk so, 60% of the money when they come out of the country now beg with a beg for them. When it comes to crime rates, under Anders by Coma, now tramadol, now no more picking that they take. The picking that when Mr. Ali they talk about so, today they take kush and then purpose, now they depend. When it comes like crime today now we continue, Mr. Ali. When it comes like crime, people and then they rob them, then they take machete cutlass, cut people them for simple things them. You see how Pekin and man and woman and they divorce more under and it's by other mother bill. You see today that the corner hospital, one of the main hospital now the country, a doctor they feel person, mother bill administration people them, they beat a doctor. But when we talk about doctor then we continue. Now only 300 doctors there for 7 million people them. Only 300 doctors them. How much the average doctor they make? Now 1.3 million, $1,300 a month. They're not able to get motor car. They're not able to get a house for themselves. They're not able to get health insurance for themselves. These are the doctors. Now we talk again about the students that when a doctor them. When they send them go na Russia, Mr. Ali, guess what's happened? The beginning when they for pay, the school fee they for pay for them. Mr. Madam, you not pay the school fee. The one they for eat, not on the scholarship for the simple $500. Mr. Madam, you not able to pay for them. Mr. Ali, I'm becoming very call because of this. Today in Africa, 54 countries them. The point station them, Salone, now the 10th point station that we done in Africa today. When it comes to the coronavirus money, today the country that they investigate that 6 countries, Salone under Madam Building administration. When we say the doctor, they forget the money during in coronavirus time. 12 weeks, Mr. Madam, you not pay them. They're placed in the way that they quarantine them. They don't get water, they don't get pulse oximeter, they don't get acute check machine, they don't get all the necessary, even blankets and bed sheet, they're not there. That they're placed in there. We can attest to the things today. The question will they ask myself, Mr. Madam, what have you done for our country? What do we not do for our country when we think about this? The way at which Madam violates the Constitution, it's unbelievable. No other leader ever violates the Constitution as Madam, but installing somebody like Abass Bundu, but imposing, getting rid of institution by the law, for being a cyber law. Now, Mr. Madam, you don't tell me, say, Rado Soiree, we're not a lawyer, neither determine how much you go jail. When you commit a cyber Rado Soiree, a minister, neither determine under the judge, 2 years now you go jail. Under Madam Biona, now 5 years. Now Rado Soiree, neither determine you faith. Una ask another question then that we now this particular. What did Mr. Rado Soiree say? In no one that kind of position there. It is true. You see how that they kill people just this week. How many people will not see whether they shoot them with guns? Police officer forget gun man. Now it's small country like that. And this president, see when they take a gun, then they pound a woman for small money a thief. When a thief 49,000 bags of rice, Mr. Marabio slapped them at the wrist and let them go free and get another position. These are the country what they think about. These are the place where we think about our country. Before we are ready for fight for our country. Yes, we will fight as independence. I'm going to buy when I am. Thank you very much.
So, Mr. Ali, you asked for facts. Whether you agree or disagree, facts have been thrown at you. And you say the problem where we get now a problem of unsourced assertion. I don't think the figures that were mentioned here were unsourced assertion or that they were fictitious or imaginary figures. I think these figures were thoroughly researched, well researched, and well articulated. However, we've run out of time, and we can't keep going and going and going. I promise the viewers that we'll have another time to sit again, but all good things must come to an end. I know say some man then go, they say, Matilda, you not touch on all the brutality, the police brutality, where they happen, everything where we don't see, you know. I think this week in a long time in our history, we reach a crescendo in terms of police brutality in our nation, in terms of confrontation, in terms of killing. It's a bit too much. And the reason why I strategically decide not to touch on them, sometimes we have to give ourselves a mental break. We have to walk away from what we see in order to discuss them with a bit of empathy and with a bit of context and with a bit of rationality. So because of that, as I decide not to touch on the police brutality situation, on the killings them, on the confrontations them, we don't happen this week. This week, every day of the week, there was something. It was intense, it was gruesome, it was tiring, it was brain draining. But to me panelists them, I want to tell una all thank you, and I will give una all a couple of minutes, 2 questions. We bargain with the current regime, not a bargain of 10 years, a bargain of 5 years. So whatever it is that they wrote in their manifesto, we accept them. We expect them for delivery within the 5 years bargain mandatory. We give them a contractual agreement of 5 years. And if the people so choose, then can engage in another contractual agreement with them for another 5 years. So with that said, having crossed the 3 years margin of that 5-year contractual agreement, and this is now a question to all the panelists them for close. First question, has this regime reached 70% of achieving what they promised the people? That's one. Secondly, how would you rate the regime, President Bill administration in 3 years. The last question: how is the security of Sierra Leone? Is Sierra Leone as a nation in a good place security-wise? 3 questions, all 3 panelists, same question, even as you give your closing and goodbye.
How many minutes?
I go. Exactly. I don't go give una boku minutes. Them don't go. 3 questions, 3 minutes. Quick shots fired. 3 questions, 3 minutes. I think say each question can be succinctly addressed in a minute. So I go start with Mr. Toure. Go ahead, please.
It was nice for let you ask the man within in government for letting talk before, because now he gets record for try for keep up with.
I would have, but I wouldn't. I ask again. Please, Mr. Toure, go ahead.
Okay, I will be a gentleman. Anyway, actually, there's nothing to write home about this SLPP government. Agriculture, F9. Healthcare, F9. Finance, F9. They have failed in every front. And the bad thing about leadership, now where the people and where you lead not get confidence in you. Then you get punters them where they come for can try for the leadership borrowed robe where they not deserve. Like for instance, they can't tell we for say una get vision. The motorcar una they drive not get steering. So una not get any direction una not get for go. And the painful thing is our people are languishing, they are suffering. But yet when they come, they can't tell we but UN, DP, ECOWAS, that one day. It's like Papa where married a wife. Everybody else na the neighborhood talk for say Mr. Turin a nice man. But a wife not go say the same thing but because you know they pull chop money, you know they give the picking them good medical care, you know they support the wife, they brutalize the wife na house, they beat the picking, they abuse them and alcoholic. But everybody na the cookery bafa. Mr. Turin a nice man because I buy cookery for them, but I know they feed me picking them. For make big man where I like because na my brother. No matter what, Mr. Ali na my brother. For can make himself a conjoined twin to Mother Bio. It saddens me. Where you see the man, my brother know they call her excellency. Because he's not excellent. Because the man, even when he make a honeymoon, look at the choice of country. Lebanon. Lebanon don't defect war before I born. Today they defect. Country where get bad name, country where America when are one of the donor country where they assist we. No one will get anything for do we. That they matter be you go. Then say, show me your friends, and I will tell you who you are. The man not get character, he not get values. And if it go Israel self, it better because when the colonial people they left with, they're not left with parliament. Can if smart now Israel go big like them build parliament day for we. Before that, he go Lebanon. So me really, to be honest, this was a mistake because the man came with a CV, and that is CV where he came with nothing good not be there. Na brutality, na abuse, na theft, na misappropriation of money without giving account, and you know get respect for women because if then they in government now. Policeman, they take magazine, they beat batter woman in aid without any respect. It really break me heart. So I go beg me brother where he go today, let he go look himself in a mirror. He say me to be personal. Of course I will be personal. Anybody who not like Sierra Leone, I don't like him. Sorry. But I go beg you for let you go do a review and a rethink. This is not the way we should be going. And me go tell you, if na me party be in power, I go condemn them. And I just joined them recently. But I could tell you, say, now we me did I not go see APC they do wrong and not talk them. Now when they in power, when I left for the go talk about APC, APC don't make mistake, then at the doghouse, people then vote them out. So they are paying the price. It will be easy for una for go a second time. But now it is doubtful because I don't make APC look like angel. So they are more, decent to the people of Sierra Leone than Una. Because even today, somebody na Kenema, one man they call Mr. Kone, they call you president, say don't sin against the nation if I apologize. What would you say about that? The only person where she say Mother be you fantastic. Now make I will tell you back as I say earlier. Mr. Emmanuel, you know Mother be conjoined twin and you get Jigena UI. By the way, when you talk language, understand language, na personification. And not send the thing, what I say against a particular person. I use a personification. I say you they act like for say you get Jigena UI. Now a personification. That is simple English. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I will go to Mr. Zubairu. Mr. Zubairu, 3 questions, 3 minutes.
So, Ms. Matilda, you asked the question: if Madabio they don't achieve their goals by 70%. So what you will ask is 70%. So now we can ask the question: when it comes to infrastructure, whether we get railroad that we country, we get more road than we country. Today, 3,000 people and they die for the dilapidated road that we get. As I know, infrastructure don't build today. No. When it comes to the healthcare today now we country, are people ever get the simplest medication them like potassium, diuretics them, anything a day? The simple medication and the work will make people function a day. Then I'm a hypertensive medication them. They not get them. They don't even get a pharmacy now at the hospital them. When it comes to healthcare, now we people them. A barometer. I know say Mr. Emmanuel Ali and Mr. Mike Bell were always left for sight. But a barometer, I ain't go to the people them. 60% of the people and say they only get 1 meal or no meal for the entire day. They say the most corrupt people in the country, now the police, the parliament, and the office of the president. That's so they say. When it comes to investors in our country, they say that they will refurbish the airport for $270 million. And me, you want to travel going away for pay that price for a particular company. We talk about the timber where they don't say the global warming. Mr. Ali know about us, so as Mr. Iman to read. They still don't stop for cut trees them. But the timber the way Mr. Marabio, when Mr. Ali said, JJ Sapa, JJ Blood, now the smartest person. Mr. Ali, me and you, we don't accountable can calculate for every cubic meter. Now $2,500 for the timber the way Mr. Madabia go sell. When you calculate that for 2 million, now $5 billion. This man what you call JJ Sapa in the Texas smart. Now you know able to calculate these simple things them. Now a professor is not be doing work. JJ Sapa. When it comes about the regime, now we can talk. How we talk about the regime? Now we talk about each of them. Majority of the one them putting at the strategic position them. Now they demand them. And all of them, and the chief, look them all, then the chief man them, JJ Sapa, versus Ben Kefala, the chief minister. You name them. But then now the strategic all of them that they accused today for the check with money them. When it comes to contract, Mr. Ali, the people that want to get contract, now people that want Mother Bill know from back then, we support them. For go refurbish the oil refining. Mother Bill so for pay.
We have 1 minute left.
What's that again?
You have 1 minute left.
Okay, sorry. When it comes to security, when you take you go to you go to the airport today, then the thief
you log it or waiting you can go. When on a laptop and then say we see when somebody talk about it and take their laptop and read them at the country. And when they do that, guess what they happen? Madam, if people then they send it to through. Then they counter and set up for finding solution. When it comes to Watakim, the extra charges them. There's no security in that for your goods and services them. When it comes to crime today, there are more people who they commit crime that we country than ever. Under 3 years when this man take over the country. No, this man failed in every front. Again, 25% because I'm just able to put the thing together, but nothing else. It failed miserably. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ali. You have the.
Well, thank you, Matilda, for allowing us to have a debate and engage the people of Sierra Leone. I have to say to Mr. Toure, when you are an invited guest and you're offered the courtesy, I think you have an obligation to return the courtesy and the ethics. It was inappropriate for you to suggest that he asked me to start when the host has asked you to go first. So these are the common courtesies that I hope people like you who would come on television and personally attack my personality would start by basically understanding the basic codes of ethics of behaviors. I thought I have to say that. But anyway, now, let me move to the country and President Bio in presidency. Again, I go back to history, how history go record President Bio. And history go do a very meticulous job for look at the facts. Look at the trends. People like to throw out inflation. Hey, things then there. So I challenge you to go back to 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. Look at the inflation trends. Look at it. Before people begin around and talk, say hey, this. Look at the trends. It is going in the right direction. Let me compare GDP growth. For example, Ebola 2015, Corona, COVID 2020. Koroma lost it. He started off by saying it was an Eastern infection. We had a contraction in our economy of minus 20%. Worst case scenario, we have had in 2020 about a contraction, a mega contraction of 3%, minus 3%. So again, when I speak of history recording the significance of this moment, the progressive era that Sierra Leone have been presented, when you talk to mama, you ask, you they worry today but school fee, you they worry but uniform, you they worry but food, you they worry but transportation. The mama go tell you say, today better pass yesterday. When you talk to young girls who have been empowered by the First Lady, in all the capacities them, in a society that have traditionally marginalized young people and women, the school picking will tell you say, I would rather live under the regime of President Bio than I would under any other APC time. If you talk to a businesswoman then today, ask them about their ability for get credit money or market money, then go tell you say this government don't make it possible for over 20,000 plus women, north, east, southwest, forget access to business money. Of course, education. We can brag. You cited some statistics about what Nkrumah spend on education, what other people spend and what President Bio. We are owning it. The easiest way to alleviate poverty in any country, now for educate the picking them. The easiest way for indicate who that they educate and alleviate poverty, now for identify who that focus on education. This president can take credit for that. Infrastructure, you name the region of the country. But let me take Mabele Bridge, where they connect Freetown and Makeni. Every weekend, President Nkrumah went to Makeni. He crossed that bridge. By the way, I think a connection come by. And they always go there. And the bridge on the way you reach, you they wait. When the person they cancel, they can't wait to go, you go. President Nkrumah did not have the decency to construct that bridge. He didn't care about the people. What are they constructing today? It's a symbol of who cares. This government, the facts, the details, the data, whether or not GDP growth, whether or not poverty alleviation, whether or not increased salaries in terms of NACSA activities them for even care about the welfare of the poor, whether or not increase salaries them for teachers, for civil servants, whether or not for make investment easy in the country for people that where they can invest, whether or not the safety of the country and the security of the country. Don't take it from me. Take it from all the international organizations that where they rate Salone. These 3 years have seen more progress than the past 50 years of APC. What did APC give us? Like I said again, I quoted Douglas. It is easier to build a strong child or to build strong children than to repair broken men. What do we have today? Young boys who were exploited by APC, young boys who were abused and used by APC. Those are the boys and the men today that we're trying to repair. It is a difficult thing to do. But even in the difficulty, we're creating opportunities for fishing communities them by giving them boats, by giving them amenities for get a living. We're creating technical institutions from district to district for give people them empowerment, for make them active and engaged citizens. I am so proud of my president. I am so proud of this moment. And I can tell all Australians that let us go back many years from now. Let us look. And I can assure you this moment would have created the foundation for a country that is moving to higher heights. Let me pause and let me thank the host for giving me the opportunity to engage the young people of this country. It is easy to hear and listen to all forms of unsourced assertions. People will say this, people will say that, people will make that comment, people will make that comment. I challenge young people to engage the facts. The facts indeed will set you free. Thank you very much. Let me pause there.
The facts indeed will set you free. This is not a 2-hour program. We don't stretch to 3 hours for some reason. The debates, the debaters stood where they stood their ground and they debated the issues. But the fact remained the fact. And every now and then, when you talk about, unsourced assertion or distorted truth, just like I did in the regime of, Anes Baikoma and former President Tijen Kaba, and now we have President Bio. Government now a continuity indeed, and that continuity today, the fact states say the money for the bridge we don't already pay, the contract was already assigned, and that is why government is a continuity. The APC lost the election, and therefore the bridge wasn't built under the APC regime, but however is being built under the SLPP regime. That is good because that is what we call continuity. But when we give our history, let us give it wholesomely, but let us not give it in half facts or half truth. So me strongly believe in that, and whenever I get the opportunity, I can try for give a contextual view of certain issue. If we were to go back to the books, we can clearly trace and we can clearly say for sure the bridge, the allocation of the bridge, the building of the bridge was already set in motion before the current regime came into power. Let's give gratis to where gratis is due, credence to where credence is due. Listen, me family, them the talk not done now, so today the talk get for continue. Who say people then they make them they? How people then choose for see them truth, make them choose for see and that way they. But at the end of the day, we can't be blind. If we either see something and we refuse for call them how we see them, if we see snake and we decide for call them fat foods, then are we problem. If we see worm, we decide for call them snake, then are we problem. At the end of the day, one day we they bet, one day when a bilolo, where you put salt for and I go shake and die, it no go do you nothing. But one day when it reach near you, if he bet you within seconds, you dey die. If he bet you within hours, you dey die. So you decide and you choose which snake you want for bet, where you want for bet, where you want for make bet you. If at all you want for make any snake bet you at all. Me na Eku Creole pikin, and sometimes I can talk inside Eku Creole talk. So today, inside this program, I choose for talk Eku Creole talk. If na wawom you want make bet you, wawom not a bet. If na bilolo you want make bet you, bilolo not a bet. Column you want for column. But the snake where you want for make bet you, decide who's type that snake they go be. The snake where you want for make bet you, decide how that snake they go be. If na snake you want for make bet you, or if na boman you want make eat you, you decide if na boman you want make eat you, or if na snake you want for make bet you. One thing is for sure, from where I sit, I cannot say my country is at an all-time peaceful atmosphere. Let us be true to ourselves and let us speak truth to ourselves. Because when the tika boom boom hits, it's going to hit each and every one of us. One thing is clear. One thing is clear. There is a war. There is a power struggle that has started between the red gangs and the green gangs. And una no for say where two elephants they fight, na the grass na in the suffer. So una decide if na una na the grass them and na uda na the elephants them. And una decide if una want to make the elephants there so make una suffer. And to the elephants them, una decide if una want to make una people then suffer again. Una decide if na una want for be the bowman or if na una want for be the snake and or whose kind snake una want for be. You have enough time. You have a lot of time. 2 years before the election is plenty of time to rectify some of the wrongs. 2 years is a lot of time to sit at a negotiation table. 2 years is a lot of time to be humanistic towards each other. 2 years is a lot of time to put the green, white, and blue in front of everything else. 2 years is a lot of time to see each other as nothing else but Sierra Leonean. 2 years is a lot of time. In these 2 years, you can choose what you want to be. If you want to be the snake, you want to be the worm, or if you want to be the bowman. Until then, Corona is real. Corona they kill. And Mr. President, I will strongly say, not allow make them pull people picking them ado for go do match pass. This is not the time for match pass. We are not in normal times. Normal times we can match pass all we want, but I strongly believe that this is not the time for match pass and parade. This is the time for other business. Let us take care of other business. We can match pass all we want when other businesses are taken care of. May God bless we all. May God continue for bless Mama Salone. To all of my panelists, them, I tell una thank you. Love for country, always. Una goodbye.